The British sim racers and their weekly quartets of racing have easily become some of our favorites, especially when they get back to basics on a classic British circuit like Knockhill. The steep elevation changes and punishing curves made for great MX-5 racing on Tuesday, and BSR's best look to repeat that excitement today. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV in the BSRTC Winter Series. It's round 5 of 9 at Knockhill. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with JP Costa. JP, welcome to Scotland.
Thank you so much, Andrew. It feels really good to be back here after 4 amazing rounds we had on Tuesday. I'm just so excited to be back here to do it, well, essentially all over again, albeit with different cars, and I'm pretty sure all the drivers here today are ready to put on even a better show than the one that we had on Tuesday.
A look now at the virtual Knockhill racing circuit as it is with cars going around it. We have just begun qualifying a couple of minutes ago, and we're already down to about 10 minutes left in this session. But let's go ahead and get through some of our pre-race stuff first. Of course, let's take a look at the track map. It's obviously the same as Tuesday, but if you weren't here Tuesday, this is a look overhead at Knockhill Racing Circuit. The fastest touring car, actually I don't have that unfortunately, we couldn't find touring car lap records, but we could find the fastest lap records here as a whole, and the fastest on this international layout is a 41.880. I don't think we're quite getting there, but we are in the 51s, so about 10 seconds off of the fastest ever lap time here at Knockhill. It is a fast course. It's checking in at under 2 miles. In fact, I think under 1.5 miles even, and that's what, just about 2 kilometers?
Just about 2 or 3, nearly 3 kilometers, I think. So it's an extremely short circuit. Pretty sure 1 point.
That feels like a lot.
1.6. Let's do quick conversions, quick maths.
Well, you know, and I'm looking this up on my own. That feels like a long. Yeah, it's just about 2 kilometers. So my American guessing was actually closer than I thought. Anyhow, it is, of course, the Knockhill Racing Circuit. It is short, it is fast, it's got a lot of big curves, and it will certainly punish you if you use them a little too much. Here's a look at the point standings coming into today. 4 rounds down, that's 5 rounds to go, and that begins with right here today, this afternoon, January the 27th. 4 race wins already for Tom McMahon, and at first glance, I thought Tom was the only driver in this series with more than 1 race win, but no, Adam Shepard does have 2, but you can see now, Nathan Davies puts his name on the list as a Pro-Am driver, Michael Seal as well. They both got wins at Daytona, and they're kind of breaking through a little bit, breaking into those pro guys, and kind of moving them out of the way for those wins, and we just might see that again here today. Nathan Davies was good on Tuesday in the Miatas. Michael Seal, in fact, got a win in the Miatas on Tuesday. It would not be too far-fetched to imagine the number 557 on the top of the scoring pylon after one of these races today in the touring cars.
Oh, absolutely. After Daytona, even after Tuesdays, I mean, everything is on the table for the touring car guys, for everybody. You know, I wouldn't doubt seeing even an amateur driver winning overall on one of these races. Obviously, as you mentioned, Nathan Davies and Michael Seal both won last time out at Daytona, so that was an impressive showing for them. And, well, they could do it again, and being second in points as well overall for Nathan Davies is just absolutely impressive. And we look at the schedule, Andrew, Knockhill right now, and then, well, we stay for another 3 weeks on British soil.
Yeah, we've got Knockhill today, bringing us up to Scotland. Then it's Snetterton, Silverstone National, the shorter layout there. Then Brands Hatch Circuit to get us through round number 8. Then it's down to Bathurst. In fact, just after the iRacing 12 hours of Bathurst. So kind of interesting, the timing there. It's just after that actual race. And I think that's why Daytona and Mount Panorama are where they are in this schedule. And I like those substitutions in there for rounds 4 and 9. So that is a look then at the schedule, and it's getting shorter and shorter that we have to look at it now because we've got Donington, Brands Hatch, Spa, Daytona out of the way. So we're having to look at it less and less, which is good, actually. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of these points and getting ready to crown a champion as qualifying underway here at Knockhill. And up first, well, fastest so far rather, is Elliot Harper. He's got a win, if you recall back to Donington Park for round number 1, and a new paint scheme as well, Altitude Esports. That's a new one.
So one new one, and, well, it looks great. I feel like that paint job really suits that Hyundai, and, well, it looks great, and so far it's working for him. As you mentioned, provisional pole for the time being. As you mentioned, qualifying is underway as we cut to another few drivers. And, well, Andrew, after qualifying on Tuesday, I'm pretty sure, like, it's important on this track, but it's just like Daytona. It's not the whole story.
It's not the whole story. It's very easy to have lap 1 or 2 pile up some mistakes and sort the field out in very different ways. Here's a look at Tom McMahon, who's got those 4 wins on the season coming into today. And let's bring up the timing sheet as it stands at this point here in qualifying. A few drivers yet to get out on the racetrack. They may not go out at all. They may have quali bans. So we're looking at about 20 that have turned a time. In fact, 20 exactly at the moment. And we're currently still watching Tom McMahon, who sits in 3rd in qualifying, to Elliott Harper and Aaron Rose. Rose has a win, Harper has a win, McMahon has 4. So certainly trying to hunt those 2 down and see if he can better his starting position. Goes by Sir Alan Toon here at turn number 9. That draft is going to help, but having to take the defensive line into the corner, maybe not, as McMahon rounds, tailors, and should get a nice shot to the start-finish line. We'll see if he goes any faster than a 51.5. Shepard behind him went faster, and McMahon does not. But here's a look then at Shepard, and he has had some run-ins lately. He's definitely not made friends these last couple of weeks, has he?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say the Daytona wasn't really his race. Hopefully he can bounce back and, well, show the true pace that we all know he has. Right now, unfortunately, 0.5 of a second. But when you, look at Nathan Davies, even went quicker. He's 3rd overall right now, only 0.003 of a second behind Rose. So a great showing, but Elliott Harper's lap is just insane. As you mentioned, the slipstream is quite powerful here, so I dare say that he got quite a nice toe on the back straightaway. As we now look at Shepard finishing up his lap, he has a 51.527 as his personal best, but he comes into the pits, so might just stay with his lap time, which is so far good for 5th place.
How about this? A new livery for Lee Holmes as well. They're incorporating a little more blue over there at 88 Tech. And he might have had that, I think, for a couple of weeks, but I recall a different livery when the season started. I recall white instead of blue on that car. But he is one of their Pro-Am drivers, looking pretty good in qualifying. And is second in Pro-Am only to the guy who keeps working up the boards, Nathan Davies. Really working up the qualifying sheets here, into 2nd now, even faster than Aaron Rose, faster than Tom McMahon, Adam Shepard. That is 7 wins that he's just passed up, and yes, he's got a win of his own now, but that is still very, very impressive. As he goes off a little bit, that should just maybe invalidate his lap time. It definitely invalidated the lap time for the car ahead, and that was Lee Holmes.
Yeah, Lee Holmes, as you can see, took yet another off track as they enter the back straightaway. But yeah, as you mentioned, Nathan Davies is on an absolute form on these last few races. As we touched upon, he's 2nd overall in the points as a Pro-Am driver, so he's doing absolutely insane. You know, the pace and qualifying pace on the race, as Tom McMahon now beats him just by 0.005 of a second. And there we go. There we go. And now he beats Tom McMahon by even a bigger gap. So he's insane. As we look now to the amateur pole hitter Roger Morton, he's as well in the top 20, overall top 20. So, I mean, this series is just insane, eh?
You know what, let's go ahead and bring those standings back up for a moment, because there's a lot to look at, I think. And really, the amateur side, it's gotten a lot more colorful. Craig Schill is now up to 11th in overall standings and leading the amateur standings. He is 111 points ahead of Roger Morton, who was going through COVID-19 symptoms last week. Thankfully, at least hopefully, he's gotten a little bit better. It seems like he has. He's back in the field today. Fiona Siddons up into 3rd. Right behind, just 10 points behind Roger Morton. That is 18th overall, and even Ollie Ricks is now in the top 20. So a lot of amateur drivers moving their way up. In fact, there's 4 amateur drivers. There are 7 Pro-Am drivers. That means only 9 pro drivers are left in this top 20. A lot of them have, I think, dropped out of some of these races. They haven't raced as much or are racing part-time, but it's still very impressive to think about. Less than 10 pro drivers left in this top 20 as Roger Morton continues on with his qualifying run. Let's bring the times back up, or at least bring the order back up here. And, let's ride on board with Roger as he tries to make a fast lap here and go north of 11th on the board.
As you can see, just like the Miatas, you really have to use a lot of the apexes, a lot of the curb on some of these corners. Like, for example, this is Taylor's, if I'm correct. You don't really use a lot of that sausage curb. So as you head into the back straightaway, you really want to make sure your car is just as stable as possible so you can put, the power and obviously not run wide. Then we come to the big braking zone. We saw quite a few mistakes on Tuesday. I'm not quite sure if we're going to see as many today, but as he does that corner beautifully, now he's going to enter the front straightaway, the start-finish line. Hopefully he can improve. Looks like not quite by 0.4 of a second, but he still has a minute, so 2 laps to go, as now he's going to show us how to, essentially nail sector number 1.
there's Duffus Dip, turn number 2. McIntyre for turn 3. And that was Clark back there for turn number 7 where he got the curbing, and that is a little bit off. Taylor's is that very interesting corner, I dare say, I would say, that you can kind of see back there, and that's not a great look at it. Let's see if we can get a better look at it from one of these cars as they come around. I know Nathan Davies is in the pit lane. Let's see, Mark Johnston. Okay, so here we come to Clark. This feels like a nice little stadium section, an opportunity to kind of say hi to the fans as maybe you go careening off into the dirt. That's Clark. This is Railway Bend. Now, this used to be kind of a farm service road and a railroad on this backstretch, and it turned into a motorcycle racing circuit. That's why British Superbike is so popular here. This is Taylor's. I can't believe motorcycles go up or down this because they've got the reverse circuit here at Knockhill. You can run it either way. The fact that motorcycles go down that is staggering. Same with Duffus Dip. The fact that motorcycles go down either one of those is kind of insane. It's not gone quite to Mark Johnson's plan, has it? 9th on the board. It's not bad, but he'd like to repeat from last week where he got a race win, and so far it's not looking quite like it. Here we go from Michael Steele in qualifying. Sticking with that Ignium red livery. He's got the blue livery in the Miatas, and look at that. Shane Piggott now is up ahead of Lee Holmes and second in Pro-Am. Seal is joining them in the top 10. A few other drivers on the board trying to finish up their lap times, including that of Alan Toon, Sir Alan Toon, as he works into McIntyre here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sir Alan Toon is 20th place. As you can see, there are 3 seconds the gap between him and the leader. Hopefully, he can improve just by a tiny little bit on this lap. You can see him being a little more cautious on those curbs at the chicane. And while Andrew, I personally haven't driven around here, but those curbs look absolutely deadly. And well, if I made a mistake on one of them, I'll definitely take a little bit easy on the next few laps until I build my confidence back up. So that's probably the game plan for Alan Toon at this moment, as he now brakes hard into turn number 9, finishing up his lap, taking that apex beautifully, not kissing those curbs. But did he abandon the lap? No, not quite. So he's probably gonna finish, but not improving, at least this time by.
About 3 seconds off of his fastest, and that is how Sir Alan Toon will wrap up his qualifying effort. That is how everybody, in fact, will wrap up their qualifying effort. Not too many passes there at the later stages. We've got then a field of 26 to go through at the start of today's show. Let's go on through row number 1 for our 26 car grid begins with Elliot Harper and the number 29, Nathan Davies, your Pro-Am pole sitter, also your outside pole sitter, starting second today from Knockhill. Starting third, it is the 66, 4-time winner on the season so far, Tom McMahon, with Aaron Rose starting from 8th. Starting 5th today at Knockhill in race number 1, Adam Shepard with a couple of race wins to himself. Shane Piggott rolls off 6th. Rolling off 7th, it's Lee Holmes, a couple of Pro-Am drivers there, and then you get Rob Baker there in 8th. Has not gotten a win yet. One of the best drivers without a win in this series. We'll see if he can get one this week. Mark Johnston will start from 9th and Michael Steele from 10th.
11th place will go the way of our amateur pole sitter Roger Morton. Outside of him, it will be Martin Sampson in the number 20 in 12th place. In 13th place, we'll go to Luke Kidsley in his 88 car. Alongside him, Jamie Goodall in the 575. In 15th place, starting off row number 8, we're going to have Sam Smith, and alongside him, Jason Morris in 16th place. 17th will go to Ollie Ricks, and 18th place will go to Craig Shaw for all amateur row. In 19th place, go to Duncan Cope. Alongside him, Sir Alan Toon in 20th place.
Starting 21st, it's Carl Hardy in the 573. 22nd, we lost the field for a moment. Glad we got them back. Maybe we don't. Starting from 23rd, that is going to be Scott Malcolm. 24th, Nathaniel Goodman. Starting 25th is Glenn Humberstone. 26th, Andrew Littler. That is your 26-car field as we get ready for racing here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. Just waiting on these guys to get rolling. We invite you to follow along with Pit Stop TV everywhere that you can find social media, be it Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, the whole lot of them, as we've got a field of 26 ready to go for race number 1 in round number 5 at Knockhill. Green lights are out. We're racing. Ducking, diving to Duffus Dip for the first time. Couple of blocks further back, Michael Seal slots in alongside of, I believe, that is Luke Kidsley as they work through turn 3 now. McIntyre, you can see the field stringing out. Not too much contact here very early.
No, very safe in race number one. Looks like a lot of these drivers just trying to survive, to essentially make it through lap one without any damage. As you can see, everybody safely making their way out of the chicane and into turn 7. As you can see, a few battles going side by side, but most of them, Andrew, in a straight line. We might see a few moves heading into turn 9, though.
It does look like Alan Toon may have picked up a little bit of damage here on this first lap. Maybe not. Might have just gone off the racetrack and gotten quickly back on, but we did get the notification that maybe he had a crash. The rest of the field going to come around and wrap up lap number 1. Elliot Harper, your race leader. And this, I mean, these are just cool shots watching the entire field come on through.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing all those different liveries, different cars, it's just a beautiful sight. As we can see now, essentially the complex of turns 1, 2, and 3, and now turns 4, 5, and 6 has essentially a shot of sector numbers 1 and 2. And, well, as you can see, the top 3 kind of remain unchanged. McMahon, although got the position over Nathan Davies, rose still in 4th place ahead of Shepard.
Get a dust kicked up there out of Clark. Roger Morton is in a nice little battle here, it looks like, with Lee Holmes as they work down towards Taylor's for the second time in this race. Lee Holmes going to try and get on by. That would put Holmes into the top 10. Morton quickly got up into 10th after starting 11th. A slide there, though. That's going to open the door for Lee.
Yeah, just a slide of the backhand. That's going to allow Lee Holmes to get a run on the inside. And he already got the position. He already has a nose ahead as he enters 10th place. He might just clear Roger Morton as they head into turn 1. Yes, he does. Roger, well, essentially gives that position for the time being. Maybe lining up a comeback move. Not quite, as we cut either for a battle for 11th place, looks like, and further behind Luke Hidsley and Sam Smith.
These guys were side by side over Duffus Dip. They've since sorted that out. As here's a look at, is that Kidsley up the inside of Roger Morton? It is, and that is a pass made, but off in the dirt goes Kidsley, and that number 88 going to have to try and catch it in the dirt. He does so, as now Sam Smith will square up with Roger Morton and look to the left side for turn number 9 to wrap up lap number 3. Here we go. 525 round the outside of the 992. It doesn't work just yet. Luke Kidsley has a look then at Sam Smith, and we'll say, yep, let's go up the right side.
Yeah, looks like Roger Morton nailed the apex that time. The backhand did not step out and, well, allowed these two to battle. Looks like Sam Smith got the position and is going to retain that for turn number 1. So Luke Kidsley briefly went up to 11th place, but unfortunately dropped to 13th once again. Now, he tried to look down the inside. It looks like turn 3 did not work. So, well, he's stuck at least for the time being, but might come under pressure from Jimmy Goodall right behind him.
Oh, Roger. Roger Morton excavating out there, trimming the grass up a little bit, and landscaping through the sand, gets back on in turn 7 and slides into position number 15, right behind Duncan Cope. That could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, he gets back after it. Up front, here we go. Battle for second, maybe, as Nathan Davies takes a look at Tom McMahon. He's fallen back a little bit. Tom has worked himself back up into a top 2 position, and you can see the rest of the field coming on behind. Elliot Harper leading the show. McMahon catching air there in turn number 1, 3rd. Nathan Davies 4th, Aaron Rose 5th, Adam Shepard. The rest of your top 10 comes like this. It's Shane Piggott, Rob Baker, Mark Johnston, Michael Seal, and Lee Holmes back to position number 10.
It's an absolutely sight to see these cars getting at it. As Shepard looks like, well, went essentially dirt track racing. This is not rallycross, my friend. Unfortunately, you're in the TCRs, but well, he saves it, Andrew. That's not something you see every day, as other drivers looks like are having troubles. Oh, and that's gonna be race over for looks like Alan 2. No, that's Littler.
It is Andrew Littler in position number 25. And that car was stuck there for some long while. Let's take a look back and see if we can't find out what happened to Andrew Littler. And this might be a good look at things. It looks a bit like a Tiger. That's what that car reminds me of for some reason. I know it says work guard on it, but it reminds me of a Tiger as he works into 9 here. This is Taylor's. I think this problem is turn 1, though. This doesn't feel like a place where you would bury a car in a tire barrier, right? And certainly it is not. I feel like this is an issue in turn 1 through Duffus Dip, maybe at the bottom of McIntyre potentially, as we'll go on board with Andrew Littler. He was well back in the field already, and clearly it has not gone right for him. This is now 10 minutes to go live. This is a replay of it, though. You can see some contact up ahead. That's what initially caught my eye, and Littler, lazy spin there onto the rallycross circuit.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, as you mentioned, lazy spin, and that's going to be his race over for race number 1. Just quickly, unfortunately, a small mistake by his part. Too much curb on turn number 1, unsettled the car, and that was all she wrote as we cut back to a further battle. Looks like this might be an amateur battle, overall amateur battle. And I'm not quite sure who this is, but that's the 995. Is that Craig Schill? No, not Craig Schill.
Well, it's Ollie Ricks, and that was the 917 going sideways. My goodness, what a contact there. The 917 belonging to Jason Morris, and you can see where Ollie Ricks goes off as well. As if we cut back live here in just one moment, you will see that we have an issue with Duncan Cope, unfortunately. So a lot of these guys now in the mid-race, in the midfield, having some issues, and we'll get a replay for you here shortly. This is just ahead of, is that Sir Alan Toon or one of his teammates just behind? That is one of his teammates, because that is the 666, I believe. Not even one of his teammates. It's a different car entirely. But this is Duncan Cope over turn 1.
Oh.
Yeah, that's unfortunately pretty easy to do. Follows Andrew Littler's lead and just hits the barrier there just past the entry to the rallycross course.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Some of these guys taking a bit too much curb, and well, these cars are definitely not going to take it as well as the MX-5s. And you can see that car is just, well, it's done. Unfortunately, hit that at the wrong angle, and it looks like the suspension has collapsed. So that is race over for Duncan Cope. Was he leading the amateur class before he passed Roger Morton? But I'm not quite sure if he was leading at the time of the incident.
Hard to say. This is back up just outside the top 10. Sam Smith and Jamie Goodall going after it and popping a lot of curbs here on lap number 8. We're expecting 18 in each of these races, but the pace could change that just like it did on Tuesday with the MX-5s, and it looks like Goodall is going to have to give this battle up for now at least. We got another one heating up further ahead, though. Michael Seal and Luke Kidsley. In fact, oh, there's some blinking there. I wonder if maybe Seal is a bit annoyed with Kidsley. We'll see what he can do into turn 1.
Looks like might not be too close to turn 1, but it's definitely close enough to apply some pressure, maybe force the driver ahead into a mistake. Not quite, although he takes a compromise line, looks like it, but they're going to retain position, at least for the time being. As you can see now on board with Michael Seal, trying to make that Audi work. That Audi got a win, the first Audi win of the series back in Daytona. Trying to repeat that feat in 10th, 11th place right now, not looking too possible at the time being, but definitely a top 10. Andrew, well, it's just up the road.
I just enjoy watching onboards. Sorry, I get mesmerized. There we go. From time to time, I'm just watching onboards of cars. So much so that I forget how to speak a little bit. And, man, this is just fun watching these guys go after it here at Knockhill. Let's go further up, though. Rob Baker, Mark Johnston, 51, 56. They do battle on the front stretch. This is for 7th on the racetrack with just under 7 minutes to go. And look at how close they are.
Well, that's TC Racing. That's touring car racing, getting that close to your competitor. That's applying pressure. That's giving him the bumper in a friendly way, I'd say. Well, as they head up the chicane. I mean, do you have any idea how well you must know the track of being that close and not missing the apex, hitting it that so well? He must have this track memorized like the back of his hand. Because, well, what Johnston is doing is just fantastic. Maybe just lining up a move, going for a late lunge down into turn 9. Might be too far away. Blinking the headlights. Could we see a move? Not quite. Although applying the pressure, looks like the line was compromised. That was really close.
That was a great look at Mark Johnston's nose. Came right into your living room there for a moment. They'll work down the front stretch now. You can see Lee Holmes just in the background, hanging on to a top 10 spot. Hanging on, I say hanging on, but doing pretty well for Lee Holmes here today. 9th place in this first race of the day. Shane Piggott, the only driver aside from Nathan Davies, who honestly is making a good campaign to be a pro next season. You could almost say Shane Piggott is really the leader of this Pro-Am division because Nathan has just been sensational. All 4 rounds so far, now 5.
Well, absolutely. When you're a Pro-Am driver and 2nd overall in points, that just says something. So I guess I'm going to take your side a bit on that one, but yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. And, well, this battle is just going to continue going. This is just amazing, Andrew. These guys are putting on a show each and every single day. It's just amazing to see. As looks like we're going to have an 88 tech car going a bit wide just before the chicane. I wonder who that was.
Glenn Humberstone off in McIntyre, it looked like, and having some trouble getting back on before the chicane there. Now comes around Clark and gets things back sorted. He's just behind Carl Hardy and Ollie Ricks, who are doing some battle down to turn 9 now. Taylor's it is. Hardy up the inside, Ricks up the outside, and Rick's going to have to give that spot up to the Extreme Racing League's number 995. Hardy takes that spot then. That is good enough for 19th on the racetrack. A few cars are done, it looks like. Those being Duncan Cope, Jason Morris, Andrew Littler, and Martin J. Sampson. Thankfully, Sir Alan Toon is still out there, although he has just been lapped. In fact, as you can see, Tom McMahon go on by, and now Nathan Davies will have a look.
Well, that might just slow Nathan Davies not too much to Rose to essentially line up a move into turn 1. So Alan Toon definitely, well, not getting out of the way on the best way possible. Looks like Davies might get a bit too impatient. There we go. Goes out of the way right before turn 1. Let's feel the field. Oh, that's close with Shepard. That's going to make him lose a little bit of time. And it looks like that's Piggott as well, getting a little bit compromised, but no contact made. That's all that matters. As we cut further behind, that's the 531 Audi of, looks like, Scott Malcolm battling with Ayers. Well, that might be a new drivers as well, isn't it, Andrew?
It is, and that number isn't set quite correctly. Is he going to go off? Come right back on. Almost gets Scott Malcolm. So we don't know exactly where Ayers fits into this. Look at this, though. Side by side through the beginning portions of this circuit, and now Malcolm will slide in behind. But the Sim Mortal 531 is going to give him another shot here, maybe to Clark. Sits behind him one more corner. He might have a look then for Taylor's. It seems like if he can get a run out of Railway Bend, he should have a good passing opportunity ahead. And I think that's the goal here for Scott Malcolm. Drafting up to the back end of that 666. We'll have a look now to the left side. A couple of Audis, a couple of Hondas, and one Hyundai in this little pack. This is 14th through about 18th, actually, as Roger Morton and Craig Schiller are part of this. They'll now work down the front stretch and give it one more go.
Yeah, a few of the amateur leaders are on this battle, so that's going to be interesting to see how they battle amongst each other. Malcolm trying to look down the inside, not quite. Looks like Harris retains that position, although gets a compromise line once again, but not in a way that allows Malcolm to line up a move into turn 4, turn 5 and 6, this complex of the chicane right here. So looks like they're going to be retaining position for now. Malcolm has to get this move done quickly. If he waits too long, he might fall under pressure from one of those guys back there, because looks like they're really racing. Looks like even a switch up for position, not quite. Looks like Craig Shield tried to get past Goodben, but couldn't really post a move as they went into Clark.
And down to turn 9 one more time for Taylor's. No change of position here within this group just yet. Let's go back up front then. Elliot Harper still leading the way. That's really not that interesting. He has just dipped out from this field and has certainly shown these guys that he is here to race and pick up some points here today, and it's working out. 3 seconds back to Tom McMahon. But as we've seen, as we saw on Tuesday, the start to these races are so important to keeping that going. We'll see how he does through the inverts later throughout today. Tom McMahon, 2nd place. Nathan Davies, 3rd. Aaron Rose there in 4th. Adam Shepard is 5th and is trying to get up there. He's really got to contend at this point in the season. He and Tom McMahon have got to stand toe-to-toe, and if Shepard wants to win the championship, obviously he's got to start winning a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely, being 99 points behind McMahon. It's going to hurt him a little bit, finishing even behind him on race number 1. Obviously, if this position holds, he's going to be starting ahead of McMahon, as we do have a car parked essentially on the apex. Looks like that was a lapped car. Didn't get in anyone's way. Looks like Shepard might just have a bit compromised. That was Sampson. So unfortunately for the number 20, looks like not having the best of races. But yeah, the championship fight is definitely not over, but well, as you mentioned, Shepard needs to pick up extra points, needs to finish ahead of McMahon to mount the challenge.
Look at this group still going after it. Mark Johnson, Rob Baker, Lee Holmes, and Luke Kidsley. Really the back end of the top 10 here. And Kidsley's going to have a look right to the inside of Taylor's. Almost, I think there was contact there with Lee Holmes, but that's going to certainly compromise the exit for Kidsley. That's the trouble with going to the inside for turn 9, is you give up everything down the front stretch, and you really have no opportunity to pass by turn number 1, and you can't pass in turn 1, at least not in these, I don't think. But you can pass by turn 1. You can get your nose alongside the door and kind of take position. That time he's not able to. Lee Holmes a bit wide there. I don't like going up the inside of turn 9, personally. I think if you can get the pass done by turn 9, that's one thing, but Taylor's is such a weird, finicky corner. Here's now turn 7, Clark. And not a great run for Kidsley. We'll see what he can do, though, as up, well, ahead of these two. Baker, I thought, would have a look at Johnston, but stays behind. So let's check in with Elliot Harper, our race leader, who has just taken the white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art. He comes over Duff his Dip, and we'll go around one more time. Tom McMahon, 2nd place. Nathan Davis, you can see just behind. Aaron Rose. You got Adam Shepard in the top 10. Shane Piggott, somewhat close. This might be the closest battle we've got in the top 5 to changing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a close battle. Well, it's definitely not over. We saw a few mistakes on the final lap as we cut further ahead. This is Rose chasing Davies. And, well, these guys are close. And, well, the move on turn one, Andrew, might just be done right here. As you mentioned, it's difficult to get it right, and especially with the front-wheel drive cars. But this guy has absolutely nailed each and every single corner of the racetrack. Pole by a mile and, well, 3.5 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Elliot Harper takes the win on race number one ahead of Tom McMahon. Nathan Davis is going to hold out third place ahead of Rose, and Shepard finishes the top five.
There is a battle behind because Johnston, well, they were side by side, Johnston and Baker, but Baker does stay behind now as well. The rest of the field comes through. Man, I hate when drivers escape right after a checkered flag. We've got to work on that with these guys. Got to stay in the race a little bit longer. Michael Steele comes in just behind a top 10. Kidsley does keep a top 10. Then it's Smith, Goodall, 12th and 13th. Scott and Malcolm will come across shortly. That'll be for 14th. David Ayers in 15th. Nathaniel Goodban as well in the 16th spot. Craig Schill, Roger Morton, and the last couple of cars in the lead lap will be Carl Hardy and Ollie Ricks. As here comes Ollie Ricks getting awfully close to Barney the Flagman. That is a field of 26 across the start-finish line. Let's go ahead and get ready for our first inverts of the day. This is one of my favorite times of broadcasting as a whole, let alone just for the British Sim Racers. This is just fun when we get to kind of decide the fate a little bit for these guys. Let's take a look what we get for the first time, or the first invert of the day, and it's going to be a small one to start off. I like that. A 10-car invert, just flip the top 10 around and leave a little bit something more to be wanted by some of those drivers that are just missing out on that. I like that.
Quite the opposite that we had on Tuesday. The first one was a full one, now only the top 10. And, well, this page shows the drivers that will be inverted. As you mentioned, Elliot Harper is going to be starting 10th place. He finished first ahead of Tom McMahon. Nathan Davis is going to hold out third place for his win on the Pro-Am class. Andrew Rose in fourth place ahead of Adam Shepard. Shane Piggott in sixth place for second place in the Pro-Am class. Mark Johnston in seventh ahead of Rob Baker. Lee Holmes in 9th place, and Luke Kidsley finishing 10th place is going to start on pole for race number 2.
And just missing out on an invert, unfortunately, is Michael Steele, who won, I believe. In fact, I can check this. Was it race number 2 on Tuesday? Hang on. It was race number 2, and a big part of that was due to the invert. This time misses just outside the invert. 11th place for a 10-car invert. Not quite what he wanted there. Sam Smith will finish up race number 1 in 11th. That is Jamie Goodall 13th. Scott Malcolm, David Ayers, your top 15. That is Nathaniel Goodban, Craig Schill, Roger Morton, Carl Hardy, and Ollie Ricks rounding out your top 20. Ollie Ricks, a driver to watch. He's now in that top 20 in points as well.
Yeah, he's doing really good. Glenn Humberstone is going to finish off 21st place, just ahead of Sir Alan Toon, just ahead, 3 laps ahead of Sir Alan Toon. Unfortunately for him, not the best of races. Duncan Cope, we saw having that issue in turns number 1 and 2, is going to finish off in 23rd place ahead of Martin Sampson. Jason Moore is in 25th place, and Andrew Littler in 26th place. That's the whole 26 drivers for race number 1. And, well, on to race number 2 we go.
We didn't quite check it pre-race, but let's look now at the weather we had just in case. I think we've learned this at this point, especially when we get these European tracks, especially these British tracks. Let's make sure we get a look at the weather first. This is how things looked for race number 1. Bit of overcast skies, 68 degrees in the air, 79 on the track, and I can only imagine that it's going to change quite a bit for race number 2 and beyond today, JP. So let's keep these numbers in mind maybe. 68 and 79, your temperatures with calm winds and overcast skies, and I can't wait to see how that's going to change here in just a few more moments. Race 2 is on the way for round number 5 for the British Sim Racers Winter Series, this being the touring car category, and we will see you in just a few more moments. Don't go anywhere, we got more racing at Knockhill coming up. Welcome back to the virtual Knockhill Racing Circuit and continuing coverage of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Winter Series. And JP, for the first time, I can say the B-roll replicates to a point, or at least looks similar to the way the track looks. Are you ready to see it?
Oh, absolutely. You've been teasing me since Tuesday, each and every single round, and, well, my eyes are deceiving. Well,
it's
is
sunny.
this Britain?
It's
is it
sunny.
Britain?
I can't believe it. We actually have sun in the sky. We got some breaks in the clouds, and I think we've got some pretty fair weather. The track temp, though, is a bit high, 94 degrees Fahrenheit. You guys can do your conversion. I'm sorry, we don't have that quite prepped for Celsius just yet. We can try, though, by the end of the season. But I know that's a little bit toasty compared to what we've had. So track temps going to lead to tire temps actually being a little bit higher, or at least being easier to attain. I then wonder if we've gone from having the issue of tire temps being too low to tire temps being too high potentially with this second race. So throwing a little bit of a curveball the driver's ways.
Absolutely. 94 Fahrenheit to Celsius, that's 34, nearly 35. And as you mentioned, that could bring a new challenge to these drivers. And with the invert, having obviously the drivers that finish below the top, not below the top 10, at the back end of the top 10 starting up front, they might struggle a bit more having to fend off some of those fastest drivers that finish, well, ahead on race number 1. So that could be very, very interesting. Obviously, we could have also a faster race overall, right, Andrew? Lap times could drop below the 50s. Difficult to say, but, well, it could happen.
I don't think we'll see them go below the 50s. I think that's a little optimistic. So far, they're at 51.8s, 51.6s. There is one 51.5 out there from Elliott Harper, but we've seen him just be insane so far today. So I don't know that we're going to get too fast in this second race, but we are looking certainly much warmer, which is nice this time of year, certainly, to have those warmer temps. Maybe not for you. I know you would like probably a reprieve from the heat down there in Brazil, but I can tell you up here in the northern hemisphere, it's been a bit chilly.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't mind seeing some snow for the first time in my life, or even having a, just regular 20 degrees Celsius weather. This is absolutely, well, the track temp replicates what we're feeling on the air here in Brazil, so it's quite warm.
I'm sure there are some northerners that would happily trade with you right now. Be it northern Midwesterners or what have you, I'm sure they would happily trade as we get ready to go for race number 2. You can see the field getting ready. That is Luke Kidsley on pole, Leah Holmes in second, and I want to say Rob Baker will start from third. Mark Johnston will start from fourth in this one. A very small invert compared to what we've had previously. Just 10 cars being inverted for this one, and we get ready for them all to go racing one more time. Once all drivers take to their cars, we can go ahead and get those red lights on and get this start ready for you. You can see Barney the flagman just waiting nice and patiently, checking, do we have all 26? Do we have maybe 25 or only 24? Who's got to get to their cars? Drivers, if you haven't gotten in your cars yet, go ahead and get in your cars, all that kind of thing as we get ready. Red lights on, green lights on the way for race number 2 in round number 5 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Series. Green lights are out. We're racing for race 2 at Knockhill. Already, Lee Holmes through the inside of the corner for turn number 2 and slows down, loses some time. A few other cars escaping some sure danger, and they get back on the course without too much issue. Through the chicane now, up onto the backstretch. Clark it is.
Yeah, it looks like a much more racy, at least sectors 1 and 2 as drivers file back in a single file for Clark. As we can see, a few drivers trying to go down the inside of others couldn't really make it. It looks like the rest of the field made it through at least the first part of the racetrack, technically the second part as well, safely as we cut a bit further ahead. Not a lot of moves looks like being made into turn 9, maybe a few mistakes, not quite, looks like everybody made it through. Maybe those tire temperatures already coming alive, Andrew, that's helping some of these drivers gain confidence. Just as I mentioned that, you can see in the background, a driver going really wide on the exit, and looks like he just made it back through safely.
Oh, who was that? Was that Sam Smith all the way over there by pit entry? That was. It was Glenn Humberstone further back with the issue out of turn 9 out of Taylor's the first lap. But Sam Smith was in the pit entry for just a moment and got back onto the racetrack there as everybody else fights on through. Here's a battle further up as Mark Johnson going to give some spots up into turn 7. Lee Holmes goes up the inside. Aaron Rose as well. And Holmes already back to a top 5 at least battle for the moment. 3 wide will go down the railway bend.
This is going to be interesting coming down into turn 9. Big braking zone. Are we going to stay 3 wide? Looks like Lee Holmes back out smartly, trying to get the best of X's. Unfortunately, looks like he spun the front tires up. Couldn't really get it. That's Tom McMahon trying to go the inside of Johnston. Rob Baker sets the fastest lap of the race. He's leading by well over 1 second, 1.2 at this time. Looks like Johnston will retain that position. Tom... well, he's looking very racy. He's trying to get up front because he knows that Harper is coming. Look at Lee Holmes almost making a move, but decides to back off. This is getting very interesting.
And look at this, further up front, Shane Piggott hounding Luke Kidsley right now. Remember, Kidsley started this race on pole. Rob Baker started from, what, 3rd? And to see that position change right at the start of the race is very interesting. Mark Johnston, they're in 5th now, falling back. And look at these cars off. Elliott Harper, Adam Shepard, Nathan Davies having some trouble there in turn 7. I say trouble for them. It's exciting for us as they work down to turn number 9 now for lap number 3. Look at these views. Oh, and one car going backwards. That was Sir Alan Toon in the dirt there.
Alan Toon looks like not having the best of races, the best of weekends, you can say. Oh, as even more contact
Martin
down
Sampson.
into turn 9.
Martin Sampson gets spun around there. Was that Sam Smith, I think, that made contact with him? He and Alan Toon will get back racing. What a lap as the leaders go on through the chicane. Rob Baker! Oh, my goodness, the save, but he loses first.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he'd rather lose first than losing the car, but what a save from him, just taking too much curb. That car jumped and, well, just got lost. Unfortunately, unfortunately for him, Luke Kidsley took the lead now. He's probably going to fall under pressure from Shane Piggott, who's falling under pressure from Rose, nearly looking down the inside of turn number 9. Could not really get down there. He's going to have a compromised exit, and, well, Johnston might just take advantage of it.
Kidsley, Baker, Piggott, Rose, Johnson, McMahon, Holmes, Harper, Shepard, Davies. Your top 10 as they work back to turn number 1. Here we go. All over again for one more lap of action, and then another lap of action, and then a few more laps of action here as McMahon now looks to the inside of McIntyre. Can't quite get there on Johnston. And, you know, the corner names get a little bit confusing sometimes when you throw them in with driver names. The turn was called McIntyre. Johnson is the driver that McMahon is trying to pass here. This is now Clark that we're going through. Still the same battle as one car was off. That might have been Baker getting a little bit of dirt there in the air as Lee Holmes almost had to look up the right side of McMahon. He might still. Harper going to look as well. Oh, that was a late defense there from Tom McMahon. You've got to be so careful of doing that in braking zones. It works out this time, but you got to be careful of that.
Especially careful when there's a driver trying to go down here inside. Luckily, no contact was made as he's now side by side with Johnston. Gets the position, looks like down into turn 1. Will Johnston fight him on the outside? No, smartly backs off. Looks like Lee Holmes even lost the position to Elliott Harper, the fastest guy not only in qualifying but race number 1. So this is getting racy. Tom now has at least one car buffer between him and Harper, so he's going to be trying to use that for his advantage, essentially breaking away from the number 56, trying to catch the rest of the top 4. Now Johnston, can he do anything with Elliott Harper? Elliott got an excellent run, dug a wheel into the gravel, but looks like he's gonna, got a better exit, and he's gonna be looking down inside of turn 9. Oh, that's a block. There's enough space, but Harper looks like smartly backs away.
These guys definitely blur the lines of defense and block, and I love it. I mean, it's not great for them because if they do put one wheel wrong, they're going to have an accident, but it's great fun for us to watch and talk about. Certainly, it's a lot of fun for us to watch as these are some battles still in the top 10. Let's see if we can look around the rest of the field maybe a little bit. There's really not a whole lot else in this race right now. Oh, that was fun. Johnson now going to cross, that's Harper up. That is turn, that was turn 4, now 5 and 6. That backs up Lee Holmes to Adam Shepard. This is going to get fun.
Yeah, that was extremely fun. Can Lee Holmes hold that position for the time being? As Shepard does not mount a move into Clark. Looks like he's going to be retaining his position for the time being. Lee Holmes, I'm not pretty sure if he's going to be happy with the move, essentially the rejoin that Harper did, but looks like that's going to be that for the time being. Harper looking down the inside of turn number 9, forces Johnston to go wide. That's going to compromise his exit. Now Harper's going to have the inside line. Not quite a bad exit from him as well. And all of that is allowing Tom McMahon to essentially just drive away and create a gap. Can Harper look down the inside? Not quite, but he's getting impatient, Andrew.
He's looking for an opportunity here on Mark Johnson. This would be for position number 6. Elliot Harper isn't quite in the same points position as some of these other guys, but it does come in, let's see. He might have actually dropped out of the top 20 entirely. I don't see Elliot Harper's name. Here's a move, though, in turn 7. Finally gets to the right side, and pushes Johnston in the dirt. That's some Formula 1 racing, eh?
Yeah, that's some Formula 1 racing. I'm not pretty sure Michael Massey would be happy with that. Probably going to instruct him to give up the position, but Lee Holmes is definitely going to be trying to get that position for the time being, trying to go around the outside, but unfortunately, front-wheel drive action is not going to allow him to have that. Shepard now having to defend.
Oh my gosh,
from
he drives
Nathan
him off the racetrack there for a moment, gets back on. These guys are aggressive. They've got to be careful, though. You know, it's okay when you don't have contact. When you do have contact, that's when the stewards will have to get involved. And right there,
even more.
Davies just hip checks. Shepard off the racetrack. Here comes Johnston. Looks to the inside. This is going to get fun.
Oh, this is already fun, Andrew. This is
well, it's going to get more fun. We're going to have contact, I think, before the end of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. The stewards will have a handful. And oh, Shepard goes rallycross racing on a touring car. Unfortunately, he's going to be losing a position, dropping to 10th place. And now Johnston is rallycrossing. Everybody wants, well, a piece of Knockhill on rallycross, don't you as well, Andrew?
I mean, absolutely. Is Shepard a late move here into Taylor's? Will it work out for him? Just gets there, but the pass will not be made. These guys are aggressive. Very, very aggressive. That will wrap up lap number 10 now. No, lap number 9. This is on to lap 10. We're only halfway.
I'm definitely ready for, well, twice as this as we head into the second half of the race. As we're now on board with Shepard once again, trying to make his way past Johnston. Johnston, unfortunately, dropping a little bit from the grid, dropping a few positions as pressure gets to him. As we cut further ahead to a few drivers, Harper already ahead of Lee Holmes, as we're now on board with Lee Holmes, as he's looking behind Nathan Davies, our Pro-Am winner of race number 1. This is a battle for second place on the Pro-Am class.
Sam Smith has just had a problem, and there he is. This is what, turn 3 it looks like. Martin Sampson will come up behind him. And now Aaron Rose McMahon, they're going to go after it. This is the front stretch. You can see Rob Baker there in the foreground. He's second. This is a battle then for 4th position. McMahon and Rose to turn 1. Harper goes purple. Rose can't do anything just yet.
Yeah, McMahon gets that position, moves up to 4th, and essentially gets a buffer car once again between him and Harper. As you just saw on your screen, Harper went fastest that lap, so he's absolutely flying, Andrew. He found something as Rose absolutely flew across those curbs. He's definitely on his home turf, I dare say, you know, having that kind of pace. Now I'm on board with Rose, trying to essentially keep up with Tom McMahon, but it looks like Tom just has a little bit of extra pace as we cut a bit behind. This is Lee Holmes, isn't it?
Lee Holmes, Nathan Davies, you can see the battle behind them as well. Adam Shepard, Michael Steele is in this now, along with Mark Johnson, rather. Johnson around the outside, that's Steele up the inside, and Michael Steele is trying to come back from a poor starting spot, really. He's got a top 10 for now.
He's got a top 10, but yeah, hopefully he can make a few positions. He's going to go defensive against Johnston on turn 1. Johnston is going to be looking down the inside. Can he get that move, get that place back? They're nearly going to door bang. They're nearly going to make contact. They're going to go side by side through turns 2, and looks like from McIntyre, looks like Johnston gets that 10th place back, cuts across that Audi's nose, and, well, gets himself back in the top 10.
And this is all right in front of Jamie Goodall and David Ayers as well. Let's go on board with Goodall then as they round Clark.
As you can see now, we have a perfect shot between those two battling. Steele right ahead of him, and Johnson, well, the second car. That Audi is going to have to go defensive, maybe defending from Goodall behind. Looks like not going to be needing this time by trying to get a good enough exit on the final corner to challenge that Hyundai on turn number 1. Looks like not close enough as Elliot Harper once again goes fastest. He's just flying.
And this is what he's trying to catch up to. Elliott Harper in 6th, trying to catch Aaron Rose, who is just behind these two, Shane Piggott and Tom McMahon. They work now to the chicane. And oh my goodness, the air caught right there by Piggott over that curbing. This will be turn 7. A look through Clark, and McMahon has to stay behind, but this is a prime passing opportunity. If he can set it up right, gets a good run, but goes in the dirt. That might kill his run now to turn 9. Round railway bend. Taylor's it will be. Does he go the inside? A late move there. Can't do anything with it. Comes back over to Aaron Rose. And thankfully, Aaron doesn't make contact with him, but that's the kind of situation where, it's McMahon. A little bit slow there out of 9, but that's the kind of situation where if you're Aaron Rose, you can hold your line, and if he comes over and hits you, he comes over and hits you, you're in the right.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like McMahon just got his front wheel into the dirt. That slowed him down, as you mentioned. Had to compromise, had to call off the attack for Shane Piggott, having to defend from Aaron Rose. And that all allowed Harper to get closer and closer. Is now on board of McMahon. You can see Aaron Rose's car just behind him. And look at Harper. Look at how quick he's catching up. Very quickly indeed, as he's taking the gravel route out of the chicane, trying to get a good enough run. Looks like he just got a good enough run on this time by to maybe pass Rose on the first opportunity he gets.
Oh, one car in the dirt. That is a slow Glenn Humberstone. Into turn 9, though, we will go, and we're on board with Elliott Harper. Now, one thing I want to remind everybody of is, if you recall from Tuesday, we had an interview with Michael Lease, and we thought he was going to have a win. He didn't, because he got sent to the rear of the field after a penalty from incidents. Too many incidents. One X's from going off track, or 4 X's from car contact, etc. He had too many incidents and got 1 extra on that last lap, got a black flag, and got sent to the rear of the field in race number 2. Kept him from getting an amateur victory. I have to wonder how close these guys are to doing the exact same thing, as Elliott Harper looks at the inside. That was a late attempt. It almost worked out, but now he's going to sacrifice his entire run for turn 8 and turn 9.
Yeah, he just tried to get, tried to use that run that he got out of the chicane, and unfortunately was too far away to essentially get side by side and force Rose to give up that position. Not going to be that time by. It looks like both of them get their front wheels into the grass. That's going to slow both of them down, and they already got a gap between these two, Tom McMahon and Shane Piggott. Shane trying to hold that final podium position, at least for the remaining 1 minute and 40 seconds. The question is, can he do it?
It'll be fun to watch him attempt, as we are on to the last 3 laps here in race number 2. You can see McMahon a bit wide, Elliott Harper a bit wide as well. Shane Piggott, this defense has been fantastic. He has got a 4-time race winner this season breathing down his neck in Tom McMahon, and he has been stone cold, hanging on to this 3rd spot, does not want to give it up no matter what it costs. Ice in his veins here is 2 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he mentioned it all. Ice on his vein. He might just be the Iceman of the BSRTC Championship. Just not giving up. Not a single mistake so far. And, well, as you mentioned, he's not only holding the 4-time race winner, he's also holding the championship leader on his rearview mirror and not budging a single minute. So as you can see now, Tom trying every trick in the book that he can to try and get past Shane. Might be too far away to challenge Rob Baker, but he wants that 3rd place. He wants those extra points. And, well, getting that gravel might not be the fastest way around.
It'll be white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art, this time by Aaron Rose, still defending from Elliott Harper. This might be a move here for turn 9. Harper now going to look left. Going to have to wait at least 1 more corner to try and get that 5th position. So close to contact there, but it's white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art for Luke Kisley, some 3 seconds up the road. This is a look at everybody else as they come on by. The white flag being waved by Barney the Flagman. And oh, look at that defense there from Aaron Rose. Keeps that spot away from Elliott Harper. This is for 5th. And Harper now up the inside at McIntyre. Very aggressive send, makes contact. They both hang on to it, but Harper does go in the dirt. And that is a position there. And that may be license points potentially, because that was a bit of contact to get that spot away. This is now Shane Piggott hanging on to the spot from Tom McMahon. This might just go for Piggott. Does he get a top 3? He's at least going to have the Pro-Am win. And up ahead, Luke Kisley is going to make it a 2nd win on the season. A 2nd win in 2 weeks. Kidsley winning at Knockhill. And yes, Shane Piggott will hang on to the Pro-Am win in 3rd place overall over Tom McMahon.
Absolutely amazing race for him. Rose looks like, no, he barely got, looks like Elliot Harper finished into 5th place. Rose finishes in 6th. Davies finishes ahead of Lee Holmes, as we do have yet another battle to cover. Is this Roger Morton and Ollie Ricks?
Yes, it was, and Ollie got very close, but it's not enough. Roger Morton hangs on to the win in amateur. Carl Hardy just between them. That was very, very close in Taylor's for the amateur win. The rest of the field going to come on through. Duncan Cope there. Then it'll be Martin Sampson, Sam Smith, and Craig Schill wrapping up our field. 25 cars here in this one. Let's go ahead and get ready for invert number 2 then. And JP, you can see we've changed up the values just a bit. Made them a little bit smaller, made them fit the field a little better, so we can get maybe some more variation here in the inverts. I think this is going to mix things up just a little bit here the rest of the way. So a few smaller changes. There's a 14 on there. We got a 12. There's even... Let's see, I think that's about all that was changed. No, there's 21s now instead of 23. Anyways, here we go. 14 is now the invert. So that was something different. I believe that was 19 before. Might have been 15, actually. Regardless, that's been changed a little bit. So whatever that was previously, it's not anymore. That is now 14. And I think that's going to make this a lot more fun because that only changes about the top half of the field. And unfortunately... we've had a theme of this lately in touring cars anyways, just barely excluding the amateur cars in the invert, and we'll see that here in just one moment. JP, here are your race 2 results. Your top 10 gonna look like this. Luke Kidsley with the win, Rob Baker 2nd, Shane Piggott there in 3rd. Well, that is the Pro-Am win for him. Tom McMahon 4th. Elliot Harper wins that battle over Aaron Rose by a 2nd right at the end. Nathan Davies comes home 7th, Lee Holmes 8th, Adam Shepard 9th, and Mark Johnson 10th in race 2.
In race number 2, 11th place will go to Jamie Goodall. Michael Sue is going to be finished off in 12th place ahead of David Ayers. Nathaniel Goodben is going to finish in 14th place. Therefore, he's going to have the pole for next race, for race number 3. Roger Morton is going to win the amateur class in 15th place ahead of Carl Hardy. Ollie Ricks, that was the battle that we just saw, just barely missing out on 16th place. There you can see there, Andrew, less than half a tenth of a second, so that was extremely close. Scott Malcolm is going to finish off in 18th place ahead of Duncan Cope, and 20th place will go to the number 20 car, Martin Sampson.
21st, it's Sam Smith, then Craig Schill, Andrew Littler, Glenn Humberstone, and Sir Alan Toon out of this race early. Will finish 25th, some 15 laps down when it's all said and done. The race 2 out of the way. Now, drivers, if you're listening along at any point in time today, by all means, come on down to the interview waiting room. We'll go ahead and talk to you, be it pre-race, post-race, whenever we can fit you in. We'll get a word with you if you would like it. If not, hey, that's perfectly fine too. Focus on the racing, we get it. And what this does give us a chance to do is, now that we're halfway in the season, JP, literally this very moment, halfway in the season here for BSRTC, one more look at the schedule. From here on out, we have 2 more races at Knockhill, a full round at Snetterton, Silverstone, Brands Hatch, and Mount Panorama left to go. So basically a month and 2 races, if you will. That's what we have left. We talked about it at the top of the show, and we usually do talk about it at the top of each show. What track, though, out of these, I guess, 4 left, we'll exclude Knockhill because we're already here. What track out of these 4 is your favorite?
Out of the final 4, that is extremely interesting. On iRacing, dare I say, Mount Panorama. I feel like the challenge of going up the mountain, kissing those walls, not having an inch of margin for error, that's just so challenging. But obviously, I mean, the rest 4, the other 3, Snetterton, Silverstone, and Brands Hatch, are also so much fun. But unfortunately, I haven't the opportunity to drive 2 of those. Silverstone, obviously, I did, but I think Mount Panorama, Andrew, will be a great finale. What about you?
Well, looking forward most, I think, to Silverstone. Another one of those short circuits, really the last short circuit that we've got to match up with Brands Indy, and you know we almost had Alton Park, now Knockhill. I like Silverstone National being where it is, right towards the end of the season, but not too close. You have Brands Hatch Grand Prix and, of course, Mount Panorama to kind of stretch things out a little bit more right at the end, and the battles at Bathurst are going to be wild. I think Into the Chase certainly is where a lot of passes will be made in each division, if you will, Mazdas and in touring cars. I'm looking forward to the chase very much. At a Forest Elbow down the hill will be a lot of fun, but we've got a couple more races here today before we get to any of these tracks, and we will take a step aside and rejoin you here in just a few more moments with race number 3 in round number 5 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Winter Season. Don't go anywhere. More racing at Knockhill here on Pit Stop TV to come. Welcome back to the virtual Knockhill racing circuit, and as you can see, yeah, it's a bit more like Britain, I'd say. A bit more like Scotland. We've got overcast skies. Once again, track temps, they're dropping, JP. I think we're getting later in the day. And as this virtual time has passed, what we saw earlier on with that overcast skies, maybe in the morning a little bit, that has given way to these darker skies now in the evening. So whatever marine layer we had that burned off earlier on, it's right back here.
Yeah, these drivers are going to be feeling more at home. As you mentioned, the track temperature dropped a little bit, so it could help some drivers, could hurt others, depending on how their setups are going, and obviously personal preferences as well. With 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on practice, on warm-up, essentially, these drivers will only have a few extra laps to essentially get used to it, and well, essentially line up even a great strategy to warm up the tires quickly. This is a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah, this is the opportunity, really, to get used to it and get ready for it, really. This is the opportunity that these drivers have. Let's take a look at some upcoming broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV. Once we're done here today at Knockhill, unfortunately, that's it for Knockhill for a while here on Pit Stop TV. We got to give way to Monza this Sunday at 8:45 Eastern with Scar and their Grid Sports Car Championship. I've noticed recently, actually, that Grid sponsors Michael Seal's team, Ignia Motorsport, and I've seen that logo featured on that number 557. I've also noticed that we are coming up to right at the end for the BRP iRacing series, race 13 of 14 this Monday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Then, of course, we wrap back around. It's Snetterton next week here with BSR and the MX-5s on Tuesday. So we've got GT1 cars at Monza, then Big Block Modifieds at Eldora, and wrapping up this little stretch, well, actually, really beginning next week. You've got Snetterton with some Mazda Miatas. Next Tuesday at 7 Eastern, it will be coverage of the Norktona 500 miles, and as has been confirmed very recently, in fact, within the last 24 hours, we are no longer running the Gen 6 cars for that. Nope. Out with 2021. Yes, out with the old and in with the new, in with the car of 2022, the next gen, Gen 7 machines. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got the new 18-inch alloy rims with the new 5-speed sequential gearbox. It's crazy. Just so much that's new with that next gen car. Done with the old mirrors. Now you've got a camera in the car, etc., etc. There's so much to look forward to with the next gen car coming up, and we get to feature that for the first time on Pit Stop TV with the Norktona 500 on Tuesday evening. That is 7 p.m. Eastern time. That is 4 p.m. Pacific time, and you guys can extrapolate from there. And then next week we do plan to have Ferrari GT3 Challenge action at Red Bull Ring, and follow up with BSRTC at Snetterton next Thursday. So a lot to look forward to. And we are just getting started for this year of 2022. Much like these guys for race number 3, Elliot Harper fastest in this nice little warm-up session. Lee Holmes second, Tom McMahon third, then it's Mark Johnston, Aaron Rose, Craig Schill in 6th, Nathaniel Goodman there in 7th. And I've noticed on the entry blank that one Fiona Siddons has made it to the race. So Fiona Siddons will not miss out entirely on today's day of points, just the first half.
That's really good news. Obviously, not only for us, an extra driver to keep an eye out, but also for her being 20th in the points overall. 20th, it's really good for an amateur driver. And well, with this start, well, hopefully she can remain in the top 20 on the final 2 races.
So race number 3 on the way. And this puts Goodall up front, right? I believe that's... No, Nathaniel Goodman will get the pole. Goodall is finishing a little, or will finish a little further back, or forward. Yeah. Finished further forward, and is actually, I believe, starting right there in 4th. You can see Michael Seal grinning up, and the lights as well. They're starting to make more of a difference on these cars. We are getting certainly into the evening hours. It looks like you can even see a bit of that dusk, I think, on the horizon as we work into the later hours here in the virtual Knockhill. And we have got another race on the way. 18 laps apiece, these touring car races here at Knockhill, waiting on second place to grid up, whoever that is. So second, if you're out there, you might want to go ahead and get up into your car and get ready for this one. Maybe not. Looks like we're not going to have a second place starting position. Red lights on, green lights on the way. Green lights are out, and we're racing for race number 3 at Knockhill. Oh, contact
Oh.
already. Goodall is off. Johnston with contact. Davies slow as well. Another car in the background. Oh my goodness, that was a big hit, and that was Craig Schill very deep into the barriers there. His car is destroyed.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, his race is going to end very
Oh,
early.
more contact.
Even
Elliot
more.
Harper. What a start to
he
race
save it?
3.
Oh, absolutely amazing. A crazy
Oh,
start. Even
contact.
more. Wow. So the contact that we didn't have in race number 1 and race number 2, we unfortunately had on race number 3. We might have a few drivers that won't be able to finish. As Shepard looks like he lost second place.
No,
and
he's
gonna be
up there. He's moved up now. He's battling with Michael Seal and has gotten in front of Aaron Rose. Michael Seal is going to leave lap 1 with the race lead. Could this be a repeat of race number 2 from the Mazdas on Tuesday?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's betting on it. He definitely wants it, as
he's gonna
Shepard
get
is essentially
already.
pushing. Yeah, pushing him already. So Shepard wants that race lead for the time being. He's gonna get it, not quite. Seal has the inside line for the chicane. Shepard's gonna have to wait a little bit to maybe line up and move into turn 9, as we have even more carnage. Looks like backwards in the grid. That's the number 927.
Siddons with the
Fiona
problem
Siddons.
there. Yep.
Oh.
So our leaders will go through Railway Bend, and Lee Holmes is off the race, or no, losing a spot rather. Losing a spot to Tom McMahon. No, Rob Baker and Mark Johnston, who team up on Lee. And will go on by, maybe not. Good challenge of the braking zone, but it's not going to be enough for Rob Baker. It might be enough to hold that spot from Mark Johnston, at least for a moment. It's going to be tough.
Absolutely. Early on in this race, your tires are still warming up. Your competition might just have the edge. As you can see now, Lee Holmes being forced to the outside. He's going to have to give up that place to Johnston, as we have even further battles behind. Looks like, yeah, Johnston got that position. Lee Holmes now going to have to defend from Piggott for third place, actually, on the Pro-Am class. Craig Schill goes with the fastest lap of the race as we cut. And he was backwards on lap number 1. We thought his car was toast, and somehow he's pointing at the right direction. Is that Glenn Humberstone?
That is Glenn Humberstone. And that car is definitely toast right in front of his teammate, Craig Schill. Oh, he just gets off the racetrack in time. And Nathaniel Goodman has a problem here. He is wrecked out of turn number 7. That car is also destroyed. My goodness. And more carnage. Humberstone still stopped. Now Alan Toon is off the racetrack. Oh, my goodness. What a lap. And there's more issues all over the place. Littler, I think, was slow for a moment. Duncan Cope maybe as well. Oh, my gosh.
Everything is happening in the first few laps. This is only the first 3 minutes, Andrew, of race number 3. As you can see now, Michael Seal looks like he was a bit compromised on turn number 3. That's allowing the whole pack to catch up once again. They kind of broke free at one point, but looks like everybody's catching up. As you can see now, 5 cars in the lead battle. Shepard desperately trying to get past Michael Seal to essentially break away. Now Rose got a bad run, and he's going to fall victim to the challenge of Tom McMahon, and we're on board with Luke Kidsley getting a perfect view to what's going to happen. Can McMahon... Oh, we're going to have a battle for the lead as well. Shepard making a bit of contact with Michael Seal.
And he's about to crash him, my gosh. Oh, and there is going to be a crash. Aaron Rose in contact with Tom McMahon. They get back on, but just barely. This is crazy stuff up front.
This is absolutely madness. Johnston gets the fast lap of the race. Seal is even going to fence it down into turn 1 as he retains the lead. Shepard trying to find any way past, going down the inside of essentially each and every single corner, trying to find a spot, but cannot do it. Seal is soaking in all that pressure, but looks like the move might just be done here. He's going to have to yield to turn 7. Oh my god, how is that not contact?
I was very close there. Just barely got in behind Michael Seal to cross back over. Now Seal taking the right side of the racetrack. Wants to defend the inside for Taylor's. Doing a good job of it. Does Shepard hit him here? No, he's going to go left. Now he might hit him right at apex, maybe, as this is side by side, a few rows deep. Luke Kidsley round the outside is up to second place. What a battle we've got early. And you know what? We're almost already 5 minutes into this race.
This is absolutely insane. Luke Kidsley got past Shepard on the first opportunity.
Oh, contact there.
Contact.
Kidsley's going to go off, saves the car, maybe gets back on, and almost gets Rob Baker, almost gets Tom McMahon. They get back rolling.
I'm not quite sure if he doesn't have a slowdown at that point. Almost make contact with Tom McMahon, but looks like safely filters his way back into the grid. Looks like he's going to be passed by Rob Baker as well, and he's going to be dropping all the way from 2nd to 5th on just 7 corners, as Michael Seal now got essentially a second break away from Adam Shepard. Ken Rose posts a challenge into turn 9, maybe going down the inside, not quite this time by. Wow, Andrew, first 5 minutes of this race, absolutely insane.
And Kisley is still going backwards in a hurry. I think he's trying to bleed some time here. He may have gotten a penalty, and you know what? He's coming into the pit lane. I think he got a penalty and wasn't able to give it up. He might have already hit the incident count as well. I think that would be a little odd for him to hit that already. He is going to come into the pit lane and stop. I wonder what that's all about there, but Shane Piggott in some heavy battle here. Lee Holmes in it. We've got Elliot Harper in this battle. This is going to get fun. Contact there. Piggott and Holmes. Holmes with the save and gets back after it.
Gets back after. Hardy nearly got a free position from that, but unfortunately had to back away as we cut a bit ahead. That's Johnston and Harper. Looks like Harper trying to make his way past. Is it? Yes, it is. No, that's Johnston and Baker, actually. So Baker trying to make his way, trying to defend from Johnston, but looks like he got it for the time being. Johnston making a better race right now in race number 2 than he had in race number 3 than he had in race number 2. Andrew, everything is happening. My English is slipping away.
Michael Seal going to lead us to Duffus Dip. And that gap has gone. Shepard going to take the inside here. McIntyre hits him. Thankfully, a save there for Michael Seal. This aggression out of Adam Shepard is second to none. I don't know what's gotten into him lately, but lap car is now ahead. That is Ollie Ricks there on the outside. Another car there on the left. That is Luke Kidsley, who's just gotten back on. And Kidsley gets right in front of Shepard, says, nope, you're not going on by that easily. And that is a lapped Luke Kidsley having an impact here on the battle.
Yeah, he's having an impact on the battle. Looks like he's not getting... Oh, there you go. He gets out of the way from Shepard. Nearly making contact with Adam. Barely touching him. Looks like Adam got a free pass. Looks like everybody trying to make their way through as the top 5 remains unchanged. Look at Tom McMahon maybe trying to file a challenge for 3rd place. Forces Rose to go defensive down into turn 1. And Tom, well, not quite close enough to mount a challenge on the outside lane this time by.
Duncan Cope with a problem. This is into turn 9 here. He's going to come right across in front of Scott Malcolm. Hopefully he doesn't hit him on exit. He won't. And he will get back rolling. This battle has been insane. One of the best all season. Seal tries to move over there on Shepard. Gets a hit. I think that was all fair. You move over, you are destined to get hit out of the way. That was all fair that time.
Yeah, that was all fair, and those guys remain with their positions. Seal going defensive on each and every single corner, Andrew. He wants that win so bad. As you can see now, Tom McMahon on the outside, maybe getting a little bit of the action.
Do it.
Yeah, Seal conceded the inside line for Adam, and
he's gonna...
Well, yeah, he's going to have to push. Looks like Adam might just get it this time by.
Shepard to the inside here for Duffus Dip. Seal trying to defend. Seal has the better line for 2, but and that's just enough. Shepard has to give up the inside for McIntyre. It is now side by side with his closest competitor as far as wins go, Tom McMahon, as they work through the chicane here. McMahon with 4 wins, Shepard with 2, Rose with 1, Seal with 1. This is good stuff.
This is amazing stuff between these guys. Tom got past Rose and nearly got past Adam on the first opportunity that he had. Seal is doing absolutely everything he can to retain that lead. Now heading to turn 9. Will he defend the outside? No, he moves a bit.
He takes him out! Adam Shepard, loose on the braking, has just crashed Michael Seal. There was no malice that time, but that crashes him nonetheless. Actually, Seal might have escaped most of the damage that could have come his way. The car looks pretty okay, but he is not happy. Shepard now leads to turn 1. You can see McMahon all over the back end of that 17 car. Oh my goodness. Look at Aaron Rose up the inside. Moves McMahon out of the way a little bit. I think he would have been better suited following.
Yeah, but he saw the opportunity, tried to go for the gap, but unfortunately the gap wasn't really there to win. Look at Baker right now. He's going to go for the gap that Rose allowed him to have down into turn 7. Gets the position done. And look at it. It's nearly going 4 wide.
Mark Johnston was optimistic out of turn 8. Look at this. 2x2x2 will go into 9. Lee Holmes on the inside. Pushes Harper out wide a little bit. Johnston right to the back end of that 29 car. And look at that. Luke Kidsley is still in this nice little battle. He's not really a part of it, but he's having some fun. Aaron Rose side by side now with McMahon once more. We'll go to turn 1, and they have let Adam Shepard... No, this is Rob Baker, rather, battling with Aaron Rose, but they have still let Shepard walk in them a little bit. It's a half-second lead now for the 17 car.
Yeah, it's a half-second lead, not a lot, but definitely enough to give him confidence to drive away as Aaron Rose. Now we cut back to Lee Holmes holding for now that Pro-Am lead. Just one car, just this guy, Johnston, between him and his closest competition, Shane Piggott, as now Lee Holmes trying to get a better exit than Elliot Harper, who already finds himself in the top 5. And is that Michael Seal? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, his race, well, it's over.
One more lap complete now for Adam Shepard. That will take us on to lap number 13 of 18. We're watching McMahon now look at Baker and Rose and Harper even. Harper's close for this fight. This would be for 4th. Lee Holmes leads the way in Pro-Am. How about the amateur leader? Well, that is currently Roger Morton, and he has got a nice little ways back to the next amateur car in Craig Schill. In fact, it's some 15 seconds of a gap between those two.
Yeah, Morton's doing an absolutely fantastic job holding that lead so far. Hopefully he can keep it up. Obviously, a mistake can happen at any time. We saw plenty of those, not only today, but also on Tuesday. So if he can keep that car on track, it's just outside the top 10 as well, Andrew. If something happened with the leaders, he's in a position to get an overall top 10 once again.
He could absolutely pass Carl Hardy before the end of this race, as they'll all work into turn 9. Here's a look at Piggott following that gaggle ahead. One more time around, well, 5 more times around, really. You got 5 laps to go this time by.
5 laps to go, and what a race, number 3. What a race it is. Has been the best race of the day so far. And, well, it's still 3 minutes away to be done. 3 minutes away for these guys to race, so it's definitely not over. Lee Holmes trying to close the gap to Elliot Harper. That might be the biggest challenge of the day, Andrew, trying to close the gap to the fastest guy overall in the day.
While those guys keep at it, let's give a quick mention to these two back here battling for 15th and 16th, Duncan Cope and Scott Malcolm. Cope just got the spot over Malcolm as they round turn number 1. Just nice always to get a nice little look at some of the guys further back and let these guys keep going at it. We know they're just going to keep battling, going eye for eye, tooth for tooth, and oh, maybe one car off in the distance. I think that was Sir Alan Toon, and it was. He gets back on the course, and we'll get back rolling. Well, the way this is sorted out, Elliot Harper is chasing Aaron Rose, who is chasing Rob Baker, who is chasing Tom McMahon, who is chasing Adam Shepard, and that is the closest battle I think we've got in this top 10, and here it is.
Yeah, looks like Shepard maybe made a mistake somehow because, well, that gap was well over a second, 1.2. Now it's down to 0.2 of a second, so Tom, well, using the best of his abilities to bring that gap down. Now he's going to use the best of his abilities to try and get past Adam Shepard. And, well, Adam saw how difficult it was to pass Seal on the early parts of this race. If he can defend just as well as Seal did, he might just have this, Andrew.
No pass yet. That'll be 3 laps to go. That time across the line, just watching with Tom McMahon. When does he make a move? It might be here to McIntyre. No, he holds himself back. 4 wins versus 2. Who's going to be... Well, does McMahon get to 5 or does Shepard get to 3 here? Oh my goodness. Over the curbing. That is just insane. Watching these bumps.
That's confidence right there. If you feel your car moving under you on your steering wheel, just bouncing like that and keep your foot in it, that's just confidence that you have. And these two, well, Andrew, I dare say on race number 3, they have been on their lead. Look at the gap they have already built to Baker right behind him. And, well, with 1 minute to go, with 2 laps to go, I mean, this is essentially the battle of the Titans, isn't it?
The only 2 multi-time winners in this series right now are going toe-to-toe for the race win. 2 laps to go. Sam Smith was a bit slow there out of turn 9. And look at this battle ahead. Carl Hardy, Roger Morton, and, well, actually, that's a lapped Luke Kidsley, isn't it? Yes, that is, I think. Sitting right behind these 2. Roger Morton is now into the top 10. I wonder what driver it was that dropped out. It might have been Sam Smith that dropped out of the top 10. It might not have been. It's hard to say. Nathan Davies is weirdly 1 lap down in an 18th spot. Kind of an odd race for him. We'll get the white flag this time by, and look at this battle to turn 9. Taylor's it is, and around the outside, this might finish the race. It's hard to say. Out of Taylor's, McMahon gonna try to the line. Is it a white flag or a checkered flag? It is a white flag by 1 second. One more lap for these two. Presented by Tucson Sound Art. McMahon goes left. Now he goes right. Now he goes back left, right and behind Adam Shepard and over the hill for Duffusdale.
Adam doing everything he can to hold the lead on the final lap of the race. That's going to back up the whole top four. Now Baker and Rose are within the lead battle. Now we cut to Tom McMahon. Can he get
he's off!
Goes wide.
That's it for Tom McMahon. He's not going to get 5 wins just yet. He's got to let Rob Baker go, and I think Adam Shepard is safe. Now Aaron Rose all over the back end of the 66. Lee Holmes is up to 5th. He got by Elliott Harper. Can you believe that? Rose is going to have a look. Now left to the inside, or to the outside of Tom McMahon. Shepard uncontested ahead. Harper tries to get that spot back from Lee Holmes. He's not going to do it. Adam Shepard wins race 3, and that is his 3rd win on the season.
Tom McMahon finishes in 3rd place as Baker finishes in 2nd. Rose finishes in 4th. Lee Holmes gets the Pro-Am win in 5th place. Elliott Harper, unfortunately, 6th place for him. Johnston finishes in 7th. Piggott and Hardy 8th and 9th, respectively. And Roger Morton, with an overall top 10, gets the lead, gets the win for the amateur class.
What a race. Duncan Cope, Scott Malcolm, they'll be the final two to finish this race. They will finish 15th and 16th. 17th on back, 1 lap down. Kidsley was a lap down for a long time. Davies as well. I don't think they'll be eligible for the invert, but they may be, as that is everybody across the line. And Adam Shepard has been sent to the rear of the field. I don't know if that was a penalty from the admins. Likely not. Rob Baker wins this race. Adam Shepard does not.
Wow.
Wow is right. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned.
Me too. I have no words for it. Just no words.
All of that fighting, and he's going to get credited with 14th position. I don't know where that penalty came from. I don't know what it's for. But Adam Shepard has gone from 1st to 14th. And now you got to wonder, Tom McMahon has got to feel slighted.
If he just held position over the chicane and didn't lose that time. Oh.
Too many incident points. Drive through on lap 18. The final lap. That's what got Adam Shepard. The final lap, he got too many incidents and gets a black flag. Thank you, Michael Seal, for that one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. Go ahead and spin the wheel, and this is the invert for the final race of the day.
You said he finished 14th, right?
Yes. It's not going to be 14th for him. He will get inverted back up to the front, but he won't be quite on pole.
5th place for him. I'm pretty sure he'll take it, but I have a guess he would rather be 19 at this point.
Well, the points wouldn't. The starting position for the next race might, but the points wouldn't. Let's go ahead and look at the results. Here are your results, unofficially, still for now, from race number 3.
And with that penalty, Rob Baker on the final lap steals the win just ahead of Tom McMahon. Unfortunately for Tom, not going to be his 5th win just yet. Aaron Rose holds off for a 3rd place. Lee Holmes wins the Pro-Am class in 4th ahead of Elliott Harper. Mark Johnson is going to finish in 6th place ahead of Shane Piggott and Carl Hardy in 7th and 8th place respectively. Roger Morton is going to win the amateur class in 9th place overall, so an excellent job for him ahead of Sam Smith in the top 10.
Finishing 11th, you'll find the 666 of David Ayers. Then it's Martin Sampson in 12th. It's Craig Schill finishing 13th. Adam Shepard gets relegated to 14th. That is a drive-through penalty, which then turns into a 40-second? Well, it wouldn't have been 40. It must be a 30. No, not even 30. Regardless, it's a penalty for Adam Shepard. It may have been a 40-second penalty. I'm not entirely certain. Regardless, he's sent to the rear. That is 14th then for Adam Shepard. That's crazy. Duncan Cope, 15th. Scott Malcolm, 16th. And this is where things might change up. So we're not going to invert Alan Toon to the front. I know that. But Nathan Davies, Luke Kisley, they might go up to the front. If not, Scott Malcolm will be your pole sitter. We'll have to see where Adam Shepard, I think that's going to be the telltale of where they line up. Craig Schill does finish second in amateur. Roger Morton won. That puts Duncan Cope third in amateur and Alan Toon fourth. Ollie Ricks fifth. And you guys can, well, let's see. For Pro-Am, Lee Holmes won. Shane Piggott second. Carl Hardy third. Sam Smith fourth. Fifth in Pro-Am goes the way then of Scott Malcolm, unless... Now, David Ayers and Martin Sampson, they're new. Their numbers aren't set just right yet, so we don't know exactly where they fit in yet, but they could take one of these positions in class. We don't know for sure. But that anyways, is your top 20. Roll back here, to, you get a few more cars, 6 more cars. Michael Seal with that heartbreaker contact with Adam Shepard. And you know what? If it wasn't for that contact there, Adam Shepard would not have gone over the incident limit and would not have DQ'd out of this race. Just for an example. Andrew Littler there in 22nd, Nathaniel Goodman 23rd, Glenn Humberstone 24th, Fiona Simmons 25th, Jamie Goodall 26th. And on that bombshell, JP, race number 4 on the way.
Oh, I cannot wait to see what race number 4 has in store, because race number 3, well, I guess the word is insane, amazing. I mean, it was just fantastic.
It was definitely that and a whole lot more. We've got a 4th race on the day. Remember, the invert is 19. That will exclude Alan Toon, so 18 or 16, realistically, when we invert this field. You will want to stick along with us here for the 4th race of the day at Pit Stop TV for the British Sim Racers Touring Cars. It's been a lot of fun, and it's only going to get more fun here for this 4th and final race at Knockhill. Don't go anywhere. It's all coming up in just a few more moments.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Welcome back to the virtual Knockhill Racing Circuit. And JP, we have definitely worked into the evening hours here in virtual Scotland. It has gotten quite dark, and we'll see that in just one moment. Let's go ahead and hit that. Yeah, it's gotten a little bit dark here at the virtual Knockhill Racing Circuit, but I like this. I like when we roll into the night. I like when we get that sunset for race number 4. It looks so good, and it's going to set up for a wild end of the day here.
Absolutely, it's just I don't know, a mood, a finale. Just looks amazing with that sun setting, as you mentioned. The light fading as well. The headlights are going to be turned on. The headlights are going to have a major effect as well. It's just going to be an insane final race, and I just cannot wait for this final 4 minutes to just take on by, so we can get it going already.
Just a few more minutes to go here in warm-up. Now, we've not had a chance to speak with any drivers yet, but I think we're going to have a few after this last race that are going to want to talk to us and give their side of some of these stories. It's been wild so far throughout the day. Let's take a look then at the track map that we've been at today. This is the international circuit here at Knockhill, which is the normal kind of standard circuit. You can cut off Taylor's a little bit, and that's your national circuit. You can run this backwards, and obviously that's international or national reverse, and there's obviously the rallycross circuit here that goes through the middle. You turn in there at turn 2 and kind of circle back around to Taylor's, but this is a very, very punishing circuit. Very punishing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just like one of those circuits that one corner leads to another. If you just make a mistake, let's say on Duffus Dip, you're gonna be I guess suffering from that mistake on turns 2, 3, maybe even turn 4. And then if you make a mistake on turn 4, the chicane is gonna have to be compromised. If you make a mistake on the chicane, you're gonna compromise yourself on turn 7, which is definitely an overtaking opportunity, and that just goes on. On turn 7, you're gonna be losing a lot of time on the railway bend, and obviously if you make a mistake on turn 9, Andrew, you're just gonna be allowing drivers to go down your inside or outside for the zip. So it's just one circuit that does not allow mistakes, and with those massive sausage curves, it just makes it even more difficult.
You've got to be consistent here. You've got to hit each and every corner and link them all together. I think the only place you can get away with it is coming up to a lap. If obviously maybe you miss turn 7 or something, it's okay. You've got to start with turn 9 though, and you cannot end that sequence. You cannot get out of rhythm until the checkered flag drops and you go into Duffus Dip and you're able to cool down. There is just no opportunity to rest here. You can maybe kind of calm down for a half second out of Clark, readjust the grip on the steering wheel, even out of Taylor's, but there's no time for rest at Knockhill.
No, absolutely not. And I feel like that's the beauty of the circuit, being that challenging and not allowing a breathing room for the drivers, just having everybody on edge. And obviously for a 1-hour race, that's difficult, but I guess for 4 sprint races, that just, it just elevates the pressure, being able to do that all 4 times. And, Snetterton might just be more of the same. Silverstone as well. All of these circuits, especially Brands Hatch being an older one, they don't allow mistakes as well, Andrew.
Yeah, none of these circuits have been very easy on these drivers. I think the easiest would have been Daytona. Even Daytona is not easy because you've got such a pack around you, and there's no room for mistake even there. You've got to be on your game this entire season. Snetterton next week, that's going to be interesting. We've never broadcasted at Snetterton. In fact, that is the final of the brand new tracks that we've ever been to here on Pit Stop TV with this season of British Sim Racers. So two new broadcasts at a brand new track in Snetterton 300 next week. Then it's Silverstone National. Now, we've not done that layout at Silverstone, but we have broadcasted from Silverstone. We've had Brands Hatch on before and Mount Panorama. So that makes this week and next week a little more special here on Pit Stop TV.
Absolutely, and as I mentioned pre-broadcast with you, I haven't been to Snetterton, haven't raced on Snetterton since 2017, 2016. So it's going to be a blast for me to,
I've already been asking these drivers to turn laps for me because I can't seem to figure it out so that I can build cameras there. I don't know what I'm doing. There's so little indication as to what comes next or how you need to take the next corner. It's as Andy McEwen said Tuesday, flat as a pancake. And it is a properly challenging course.
There you go. So I guess, Andy said it all, and that's just, is setting up for a nice and interesting challenge for these drivers. We're going to have 8 races there, 4 for the MX-5, 4 for the touring cars, and it's just going to be 8 fantastic races.
And I noticed earlier today, looking through older track maps, that the current version, it's not nearly as classic as some other courses that we've been to this season, it's only been the way it is now since about 2010, 2011 when they reprofiled the final corner. I want to say it's Murray's, I think Murray's is right. And since they reprofiled it, and I would imagine gave the track a repave, it's stayed about stagnant for just over a decade now, but it's been changed quite a bit over the years. And I gotta say, if I had my choice, I would take the oldest configuration of Snetterton. It looks like the most interesting to me, but that's why I don't design racetracks. We've got a field of 20 some odd cars ready to go for race number 4 in BSRTC. You can join the conversation on social media by using hashtag BSRTC or even hashtag BitstopTV. Tweet to us, Facebook us, Instagram us, whatever works for you. Get in contact with Bitstop TV. Let us know how you're doing. Send us pictures of your cars. Guys, if you go back and watch this, tweet us pictures of your cars. We just like to look at race cars. Everybody likes to look at race cars. So by all means, join the conversation. Hashtag Pitstop TV, hashtag BSRTC, and these accounts here, at Pitstop TV on Facebook, at Pitstop TV _ on Twitter, at Pit_Stop_TV on Instagram, and that also doubles for Twitch, and of course, Pitstop TV 1 here on YouTube. We've got a field of a little over 20, once again, for race number 4. Looks like Adam Shepard, he's starting 4th, so we do get an invert of 16. 3rd. I'm not sure. Regardless, we got a field. Green lights are out. Let's go. Oh, one car doesn't go. Who didn't launch there? Oh, we've got a big crash. Oh, it's getting bigger. Oh, boy. We'll have to go back and get a look at that. I think that was Mark Johnson that didn't get rolling off the line potentially. No, it wouldn't have been Johnson. He didn't finish that far back, but let's keep going with it. Luke Kidsley leads.
So Luke Kidsley still leading the race. As you can see, a few drivers after that crash. Andrew, looks like everybody behaved. We have a few gap between some of these drivers, but looks like everybody making their way safely through the rest of the grid as we have a battle for 3rd place.
Craig Schill, Roger Morton will go at it for 3rd. And Morton on the inside is going to have that spot, it looks like, over Schill. Maybe not. Craig Schill going to try and get back after it. And that will complete lap number 1. Well, this will be something. Kidsley leads, then it's Shepard, and this is the battle for 3rd and the amateur lead. Schill leads now in that class. Morton going to get back to the inside for McIntyre. Gets there, has the spot. He's got him cleared, and one car goes off. That was Sam Smith in the dirt and in the wall.
Sam Smith looks like he's going to be dropping outside of the top 10, unfortunately for him, right at the beginning of the race, but he rejoins in.
Oh, Roger Morton just crashed.
Oh, Roger Morton just took the lead, and, well, that car is destroyed. So, oh, that is so unfortunate for him. He just took the lead, Andrew.
And that car's beached. He's not going anywhere in a hurry, other than the garage. Lap number 2 going to go the way of Luke Kidsley once more. He's got a nice little lead here over Adam Shepard. And you saw the way Luke Kidsley defended from Adam as a lapped car in the last race. You wonder if maybe there's a bit of annoyance there between those two, and if Kidsley will be able to hold him off like that again. Here we go. This is Duffus Dip for the Pro-Am and Am leaders. Carl Hardy, Craig Schill, Aaron Rose, one of the pros here. Trying to get to the inside of Schill. Almost made contact, but he's got to go. He's got pressure from Rob Baker. Lee Holmes has a problem. He's off.
He's off early on in the lap, looks like, and that's damage already to his car. You can see the front end, the front bumper slightly dented, nearly came back in front of those two, but looks like he rejoins safely. Not quite sure the extent of the damage. As well, we look back into the battle for 3rd place. Looks like Craig Shield's gonna have to defend from Aaron Rose. Aaron going way deep under braking. He's gonna have the inside of turn number 9. Gets the place, does he? Yes, he does. He's alongside Craig, and while with the inside line, he might just have. But looks like Craig Shield is out dragging him.
Kidsley purple that lap has set another 2nd on Adam Shepard. Side by side though for 4th. Rose up the inside, Schill on the outside over Duffus Dip. Well, down Duffus Dip rather. McMahon and Baker sit behind, and oh, Schill deep into McIntyre, almost got into Rose. That opens the door for Baker. Oh my goodness, he's gonna crash him.
That was 2 wheels in the air, and unfortunately that's gonna be Craig Schill out of the race. Oh, that's just so unfortunate.
You hate to see this when it's a pro driver and there's contact and it takes an amateur driver out of the lead. That is the worst kind of crash, I feel.
It's just heartbreaking, especially when that the amateur driver was leading the race. And unfortunately, that's the 2nd time an amateur driver leading the race. It's, well, DNFs for some reason. That's going to promote Rose to 4th. No, Rose was already in 4th, so Baker promoted to 5th, McMahon to 6th, and with that, Ollie Ricks now leads the amateur class.
Ollie Ricks has company here from Nathaniel Goodman. Jamie Goodall as well. This is that little battle up to turn number 1 now. Oh, Ricks,
that was
very
a
much
corner
off
cut.
track. Yeah, that was definitely a corner cut. He's going to lose 9th place. That's going to open the door for Goodall. Potentially the next amateur driver is a little ways back. Andrew Littler maybe has a chance here. As David Ayers and Lee Holmes have a problem. They've crashed, I think, in turn 7. Where is this? No, that is the chicane, isn't it?
No, that's
was
right before the
McIntyre.
chicane. Yeah, that was turn 3. So unfortunately for them, making contact, probably going side by side, but they didn't work out. Looks like Lee Holmes is having, well, race number 4 is going even. Ward says we nearly have more contact in turn number 9. And unfortunately, that was the number 575. Looks like spinning around. Did he spin around or did he save it? He saved it.
Goodall made contact, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I think Goodall made contact with potentially Malcolm. I don't know. No, Malcolm got on by. Oh, it was contact with Ricks. That's who it was. It was Ollie Ricks that he got into. They saved it, though, and Scott Malcolm gets on by. And now they battle through McIntyre. Goodall a better corner. And McIntyre, that seems to be the trouble spot in this race.
Yeah, that corner is just catching a lot of drivers out. Not quite sure the reason. In race number 4, all the mistakes looks like are happening on that part of the racetrack. This is Aaron Rose trying to make his way past Carl Hardy. Still cannot find a way past him. And McMahon passes Rob Baker on turn number 9. So that's an important move, Andrew. And well, now McMahon is going to be trying to chase Aaron Rose down. So Rose really needs to put a pedal to the metal and pass Hardy if he wants to, well, essentially get a safe buffer for the 3rd place.
Got a little bit of time to work with here. Carl Hardy stays leading this Pro-Am category, and Nathan Davies, I don't think that he even started the race. Oh, no, he did. I think he was the driver that missed the start, potentially.
Yeah, pretty sure he was the driver that didn't get going. I'm not quite sure what happened, but yeah, he may have been that driver. But unfortunately for him, that's his race over. Johnston as well, DNFing. Now look at Rose. He got a great run. He's already alongside and under braking. That should be move done for the 3rd place. He goes a little bit wide, but gets the late apex, gets the move done, and that's him up for 3rd place.
Easy pass, or at least made it look easy there for Aaron Rose. McMahon now in front of Baker, in front of Seal, and in front of Sam Smith. Sam Smith coming alive in this race. Kind of a slow day for him. A couple of incidents, and this is a good detour, I think, from the way the rest of the day has gone for him.
Yeah, absolutely. If he can finish inside the overall top 10, that's going to be a great result considering how the first 3 races went for him. So pretty sure he'll take definitely a few spots up for grab. Oh, as we do have, that's the 531 going around. That's Goodall. Oh no, that's Scott Malcolm, unfortunately, going around. Looks like not a lot of damage, though, so he's going to keep going.
And that was out of turn 2. Now that's McIntyre, and he gets back on the course. He is now the last car running. We only had 22 cars start this race, and he is now 17th. Ayers, Schill, Morton, Johnston, and Davies are out of this one. That's McIntyre once again. This time, it's Luke Kidsley leading the way, and he's got 7 seconds to Adam Shepard. 7 seconds. Carl Hardy's got a problem.
Yeah, I was just going to mention it. He was dropping, and from the tiny sheets, it looks like, oh my god, turn 2 is just catching each and every single driver out. Looks like he's going to be rejoining safely. He's going to lose the Pro-Am lead. He's going to even lose maybe he lost the Pro-Am podium, and he rejoins safely now outside of the top 10.
What a weird race. Sir Alan Toon has got a problem. Also turn 2 again.
What is happening in
I
turn number
wonder
2?
if Sam Smith has had a problem. Oh, he already had a problem. Did he? No, he didn't. Did he? I don't know.
No, he didn't. He was in the top 10, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
I don't know how to keep up with these guys. I'm wondering as Jamie Goodall gets passed up here by that is Martin Sampson. I wonder if they're lacking tire temp and that's causing problems coming over Duffus Dip and they're losing the rear end potentially.
That's just so weird. I mean, we're nearly halfway. We're already past halfway through the race. The tires should be up to temperature, only if they're overheating. But I'm not quite sure what's happening. Some of these drivers, maybe just the curbs. But something is happening either way. That was Ollie Ricks passing Simpson, was it? No, that was Simpson and Goodall battling for 9th place.
Weird race here for race number 4. That's for sure. That's the one thing we do know here is Goodall is going to get to the inside there and pushes Sampson off. And Carl Hardy comes on through. Hardy on a recovery drive, back into the top 10 now. What a weird race. Andrew Littler has just come to a stop. And now he gets rolling. Teammates here with Sir Alan Toon, and he's got big problems. Very slow out of that corner. Now gets rolling. The damage doesn't look too bad, if at all. And here comes Scott Malcolm to go on by. That is for position. That is for 14th on the racetrack. My goodness.
What a crazy final race. Not the one we were expecting, but all crazy indeed. Kidsley, I mean, we haven't even talked too much about him. Look at that gap, Andrew. 8 seconds to Adam Shepard. Where has this pace come from?
Remember, he was a lap down in race 3. He just finished the last race a lap down and gets inverted back up to the front here and is making the most of it, certainly.
I mean, this pace is absolutely insane. He's 8.7 seconds. And I'm not seeing that many fastest laps. I'm not quite sure what's happening to the rest of the field. Maybe his setup is just, well tuned to the temperatures and everything. But, I mean, Luke Kidsley's doing everything he can to walk away with a lead. Already 9 seconds. This is absolutely insane from him.
He's figured something out. He ran a 51.0 at one point. A 51.0. That is blazing around here at Knockhill. Teammates here, 4th and 5th, McMahon and Baker. And they are kind of in their own category. This is such an odd race. They've all split up. We don't really have a big battle like we had earlier on today. There just isn't much happening now. The whole field is strung out.
Yeah, whole field separated by a few seconds on each position, which is unfortunate. Obviously, we're kind of used to seeing, aren't we, Andrew, just drivers going side by side all race long. So this is kind of weird, as you mentioned. The teammates, Rob Baker and Tom McMahon, well, running essentially a tag team at this point, trying to catch up to Aaron Rose quite far away at around 2 seconds. Hopefully they can catch up to them, trying their best, but it looks like Rose, for this time at least, just has it in the bag so far.
You see a gap there, the live gap on the bottom right, McMahon to Rose. 2.5 seconds as they round the chicane and over to turn 7 for Clark. They are making a little bit of headway, and back out of the corner they lose it.
You're just winning and losing each and every single corner. Some, well, might just be due to setup, driving styles, anything. But that gap looks like it's not stagnated, but it's just going to keep within that barrier, 2.5, 2.4, 2.6 seconds. And that's just going to keep on going. Looks like we do have a battle erupting around here, Andrew.
That same battle we saw earlier where Sampson and Goodall made contact. Goodall pushed Sampson off the racetrack. Hardy went on through, and they just stayed right close to each other. Ollie Ricks is ahead of him. And Ollie Ricks is one of only 2 amateur cars left running. Call that a slam dunk, if you will. I mean, this has just been a really weird race. He's only got to worry about Andrew Littler. Actually, no, we do have a 3rd car running now. Sir Alan Toon is back on the racetrack, so Sir Alan Toon is going to podium in this race.
That's crazy how well the tables turned. And, well, luckily for Ollie, he's going to be making some inroads in the championship. Currently, he sits 18th overall. That's 3rd place on his class. He's definitely going to be making up but points on Roger Morton and Craig Schill, who both are out of the race. So, at least that's going to be good for him. Not only a win on his class, but, well, points in the championship as well.
As low as 16th in this race, he's just worked his way on through, been nice and quiet today. Usually is. And just incredible. Just incredible what Ollie Ricks has done in this race. Just stayed out of trouble. I mean, that's all you have to do sometimes in these races is stay out of trouble.
And sometimes that's what wins you the championship, running a quiet championship, just keeping your head down on races, not getting involved in too many battles, picking your own battles. That's just going to help you get further away as you, well, going to make less contact, going to suffer less from contacts and damage. And, well, Andrew, we saw drivers winning championship without winning races.
We've seen it before, and I think we're going to see it again, at least in classes. We'll see how it goes. They have mixed around a lot at these races. Even when a Pro-Am or an Am doesn't win the race outright, we've seen some really odd combinations sometimes when it comes down to it. Maybe we'll have to go and track that and get a stat for that by the end of the season. It has been wild the way this field is mixed around each and every week. A rather calm and oddly calm race number 4 after the chaotic start. It's going to give way to Luke Kidsley here in just a couple of more laps, unless he has some further issue. He's leading this race outright as a couple of teammates doing battle. Look at this. McMahon and Baker are making contact through turn 7. McMahon keeps the spot for now. This is how calm this race has been. These are the only two that are really bunched up at all, and they're starting to fight and beat and bang in their teammates.
Absolutely. This is amazing to see teammates going at it, door banging, sparks coming out of the cars. This is what we want to see and kind of what we've been waiting, Andrew. We're only getting it with 2 laps to go. Now, can Baker line up a move on his teammate Tom McMahon on the final 2 laps of the race, trying to snatch away a 4th place finish and some extra points for the number 51 driver? What can he do? He looks extremely confident. I'm not quite sure if Tom has a problem with his car, but something has clicked on Rob Baker's car, because he's just pushing it to the limit.
They go nose to tail to turn number 7 now. And I love these overheads, these drone shots that we've got around Knockhill. It has definitely added, I'd say, to the day.
Absolutely, just amazing job by whoever done our cameras. And I know that was
Whiplash
Andrew.
Sim Cams.
Absolutely, there we go. So Whiplash providing us with great cameras. Just as we mentioned that Luke Kidsley got the white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art. Only less than 2 kilometers for him to go to, well, get a quiet, well, I guess I wouldn't say that, Andrew. A quiet win on British Sim Racers.
Yeah, it's weird to think that this race has been so quiet. Very calm compared to the rest of the day. It had that crazy chaotic start, and we'll go back and review it in a moment. But this race has just blown my mind the way things have worked out. Luke Kidsley will come around turn number 9, Taylor's, and collect an easy race win. By comparison, a 10-second uncontested gap back to Adam Shepard. Luke Kidsley wins race 4 and adds another.
With that, we're waiting for Adam Shepard, as Andrew mentioned, 10 seconds away. There he go, he crosses the line. Rose is going to finish a quiet 3rd place as well. The teammates, McMahon is going to finish ahead of Rob Baker. Michael Seal is going to be coming over the line to win his class. There we go, flashing the headlights. Goodben is going to be finishing 7th place. And Ollie Ricks, Andrew, is going to be winning the amateur class.
Another case of drivers escaping there as the rest of the field comes on by. What an odd way to wrap up the day. There goes Lee Holmes across the line. He'll finish 12th. Shane Piggott will finish 13th. A great run in race 3. Unfortunately, not so great in race number 4. Scott Malcolm, the final driver to cross the line, and Barney can give his arm a rest. Just what a weird race.
A very, very different race than the one we had on race number 3. And, well, with that, Andrew, that was 4 races done today. 4 great races. A weird race, an odd race out on race number 4, but either way, it was fantastic. Luke Kidsley is going to end up winning race number 4 ahead of Adam Shepard. Aaron Rose is going to be snatching a 3rd place ahead of Tom McMahon. Rob Baker is going to be finishing 5th place ahead of Michael Seal, who's going to be winning the Pro-Am class. Nathaniel Goodben is going to be coming home in 7th place. Ollie Ricks in 8th is going to be winning the amateur class ahead of Jamie Goodall and Carl Hardy.
Before we get to the rest of the results, I'm just tallying things up over here, and Luke Kidsley not only added to his win total after getting his first win, actually not last week, it was at Spa where he got his first win. He's now up to 3, so he has surpassed, in 1 week, has gone on by Adam Shepard, and now has 3 wins. And to add to that, Elliot Harper now has a 2nd win, and Rob Baker now has his 1st win on the season. So a lot going on as far as the win total category. A lot going on, really, and certainly a lot for us to keep up with as we go on the rest of the season. But Luke Kidsley might put himself into a position where even if he doesn't contend on the case of points, is going to contend certainly with wins. Martin Sampson finishes 11th here in race 4. Then it's Lee Holmes, Shane Piggott, Scott Malcolm, and Andrew Littler. They will come home. Let's see. Lee Holmes finishes 4th in class. Shane Piggott 5th in Pro-Am, Scott Malcolm 6th in Pro-Am, Andrew Littler finishes 2nd in Amateur with Sir Alan Toon in 3rd. Then you get back to the retirees, Sam Smith, David Ayers, Craig Schill, and Roger Morton after their contact earlier. Their crashes on their own. Nathan Davies 21st, Mark Johnston 22nd, and Fiona Siddons 23rd. And JP, we got to fire up the replay machine. We got to go find out what happened there on the start.
Yeah, I guess the start was where everything started. Not only the race, but also the instance. A driver in 2nd place, 3rd place did not start. I'm pretty sure that was Nathan Davies, and that was essentially the cause of everything, wasn't it, Andrew? Drivers taking avoiding action and, well, making contact with others, and I guess that just, well, led up to the race that we had.
Yeah, I believe it was Nathan Davies who didn't go anywhere, and yes, it was. And oh, he did get destroyed there by a teammate.
By his teammate, yeah, that was,
I want to say Johnston.
Yeah, it was Johnston, maybe. Oh, that's just so unfortunate for the team as well.
So here's a look at Nathan Davies. We'll wait on the start. It's going to come along in about maybe 30 more seconds. We get to kind of see where things are at here, right? So he's on pole, got inverted there. And let's see. To the left of him is going to be Kidsley. That's why Kidsley gets the whole shot here at the start of this race. Behind him, I didn't think initially was a teammate, but it must have been. And where does Mark Johnston start in this race? Johnston... So Johnston is the outside. He's well back here. Was it Johnston then? I don't think it could have been.
No, yeah, it could have been. He's too far back to essentially make contact that early on.
So who gets Nathan Davies? Let's watch this. I think stalls the car off the start, stops, so he didn't just not go, he just stalled it, and then gets hit. Oh, that was Mark Johnston.
Oh, cannot believe it. That's just so unfortunate for him.
What a weird way to start this 4th race. Let's get the replay here. Again, we'll keep going through replays. This will be Mark Johnston on his start. Let's go ahead and watch this. How does he get behind? I'm so confused as to how he ends up on the right side of the racetrack. Starts on the left, behind Piggott, behind, I believe that's Hardy in front, and even Roger Morton, and crosses immediately over to the right. I guess it's going to happen here. Another car got a slow start. That was Sam Smith, and blindsided there. Shears the right front off of the car, and then gets hit again. And I think that was Lee Holmes that got him. Wow.
Yeah, and Mark couldn't have done absolutely anything at that moment in time. He was just blinded by the car in front of him. That's just so unfortunate. At that point, we're just blinded. Drivers ahead of you are going to be taking avoiding action to avoid the stalled car. And, well, as we're going to take a look here. He tried probably at the last possible 10th to get his car out of the way, and he just barely made contact, Andrew. Wasn't that much, as you can see, trying to avoid, and, well, nothing he could have done. And Tom, with a lucky escape.
Man through the grass. And
does he make contact with Johnston?
I think that is who it is, yeah. McMahon is the car that makes contact there with Johnston. It comes over, gets Piggott, and that's going to send Baker into the grass off of the start. The fact that these two hung on and battled for, what, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 5th is pretty incredible. This all happens in turn 1. Baker's going to go up and get air. Piggott as well. They get back on right in front of Michael Seal. Rob Baker with a slide. What a crazy start to race 4. We do have some drivers in the wings waiting on an interview. We'll go ahead and get them their chance to speak with us here in one moment. Yeah, that was a crazy way to get things started here. I still can't believe what we saw. Let's go ahead and get these guys in and get them a chance to talk to us. First up will be Roger Morton. JP, he's headed your way.
So, Roger, I mean, how would you rate your day so far? I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to ask you, how was it for you today?
Yeah, it's been alright, yeah. Not too bad. It was just a shame about my last race. It would have been nice to take a lot more points out of Craig than I wanted to, but never mind. But overall, yeah, it's the racing was pretty good, to be fair. It was clean racing. I was expecting it to be a bit rougher, but overall, it's been really good, to be fair. Definitely.
And obviously, when we talk about, Knockhill, we see the jumps that these cars do. How difficult is it to nail lap after lap, especially in racing conditions with TCR cars?
To be honest, when I was last here, I was hardly using the curbs in the Honda because obviously the Honda did not like any curbs at all. So I was sort of trying to relearn lines again, and I didn't really practice, to be fair, just coming to it as it was tonight. So I was sort of trying to relearn lines to get quicker, and I took it on really well, to be fair. Unfortunately, that last race, I went on grass and put myself off, but never mind. We're fighting hard. It was a shame about Craig getting taken out in his last race. I am gutted for him. A little bit. But yeah, it's unfortunate for him, to be fair. But it's been a good battle. We had a good battle in first or second race with him. So yeah, it seems to be a good championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic championship. You're coming out of here in second in the amateur points. Quite a few points behind, obviously, Craig, but definitely still ground to make up. How do you prepare yourself for Snetterton? Do you like that track? Is it a home track? Do you feel confident in it? How is it for you?
Where we at? Snetterton? Next week?
Yes.
Snetterton, yeah. Yeah, I've done alright at Snetterton. It is a bit of a weird track in a way, but yeah, it's alright. I don't mind it.
Well, then I guess we're going to be talking to you. Hopefully you can make a few points, and who knows, maybe you're going to exit Snetterton in the lead of the championship. With that being said, Roger, I'm going to let you focus on to next week. But before I let you go, who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out?
My team as usual. We even brought one of our team principals in today, David Ayres. He's part of the result group. He's between him and Carl Hardy. They're the two that run the team, basically. So big thanks to them. Big shout out to them lot. Big shout out to Alan Toon, me wingman, for all the endurance races. We've pretty much done all that endurance races with him. So proper gentleman driver and off track. That it's great. Just as a result, boys in general, they're all good. They're all great. Fantastic to be part of. And everybody, to be fair, this has been a big success, I think, compared to what we've had. The driving standards have been a lot better tonight, from what I've seen anyway. So hopefully there's not too much to do in the shooting tomorrow night.
Absolutely, and it has been a pleasure, obviously, doing this and talking to you guys and watching and commentating these races, because you guys put on an absolute show. So thank you for that. But with that, Roger, I'm going to let you focus, and hopefully we can talk to you next week.
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
So, Andrew, that was Roger Morton coming out of Knockhill, second place in points in the amateur class, a few points behind the leader, Craig Schill. But, well, he sounds confident for next week, so who knows what's going to happen.
And you mentioned Craig Schill, points leader, still an amateur. Well, he is going to have his work cut out for him, certainly. The 88 Tech 982 had a rough go of things. Craig, what happened out there?
It all kind of fell apart in race 4. That's the honest answer. I was doing all right, actually. I'm quite happy with the pace that I had. Race, I think it was 2. I got a little bit sideways going into Butcher's turn 4, and had to get it out of the gravel and fight back. Yeah, race 1 went all right. Race 3 was okay, and race 4 was just a disaster. I thought, yes, I'm doing all right. I could see all the carnage behind me. And I thought, yes, we're going all right. And I had to go defensive against Rob into turn 3. And I think the second I did that, I think it was downhill from there, really. But hey, I live to fight another day. I'll be back next week.
Did you kind of just pressure yourself into a mistake there towards the start, or what happened?
I actually, race 3 and 4, I'd actually learned how to launch the car. So I actually got very little wheel spin, and I actually got some quite good, I made up about 2 places off the start in race 3 because I got the launch right. Race 4, I knew I was probably out of sequence on pace, pure pace. But Knockhill is a very difficult circuit to overtake on. There's very few places you can do it.
And we saw that melee at the very start of race 4. What did you see from your point of view when all of that happened?
I was a little bit surprised because obviously I got a good start and the car didn't move. And I was like, oh no, here we go. And I just went, right, I'll go left. If there's a car there, then there's a car there. Luckily there wasn't. And once I got past the car, I was focusing down the road. I was trying to chase the leaders and keep holding my places. But yeah, it was really weird. He just didn't move. Just didn't go anywhere.
So Snetterton next week is a very different kind of racetrack. It goes from all of this elevation change at Knockhill to a completely flat racetrack. It's hard to tell exactly where the track goes unless you know it like the back of your hand. Do you know it like the back of your hand, and how confident are you for next week at Snetterton?
I know the track in the real world pretty well. I've been there a few times over the years. I know if it's scanned the same way as it is at the moment, there's a few... If you get on the rumble strip into turn 1, there's a little divot, and if you hit that wrong, you're out in the fields. See you later. Bye. It's over. So there are, I'm confident with it. I've got a few corners I need to practice because there's the one at the end. It's like a very sharp right-hander, and I always get it wrong. So I should be practicing that one. But yeah, I'm confident. I'm open to go into it. I'm having a good battle with Roger at the moment. Really enjoying it.
Well, there you go. Craig Schill, looking forward to Snetterton next week, and can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes for you, buddy. We're going to be right here waiting for you. Hopefully you talk to us again next week, and hey, you can always pop in between races. Best of luck to you at Snetterton next week.
Yes, thank you very much.
The 88 Tech driver of... my brain just stopped. Craig Schill. I was just talking to him. Not the greatest run there in race 4, but we keep seeing more and more of him, and I'm very much encouraged by the fact that we are seeing more and more of that 982 in so many more racing situations and a lot fewer crashes as this season goes on, as this season wears on. It's been very cool to see the progression of a lot of drivers. I think when everybody unloaded at Donington Park and even at Brands Hatch Indy, the season was still very fresh. People were still a little bit rusty, I think, with each other, but since then, JP, this season has gotten really, really good. There's still crazy battles, crazy crashes, and maybe some questionable driving every once in a while, but everything else, all the positives have picked up so much more to outweigh the negatives, and it's been just fantastic to watch.
Absolutely fantastic to watch is the right word. And I mean, the races, as you mentioned, just got to keep getting better and better. And obviously, with better racing comes contact. You know, drivers obviously taking more risks to pass. And it's just going to keep on continuing because it's racing. You know, it's part of it. It's the nature of it. So it's bound to happen. But it doesn't make it any less fun to watch. And obviously, when we look to the next 4 races, those circuits, they promote racing. They promote good racing. Snetterton is going to be fun. Silverstone is going to be a nice challenge for these guys. Brands Hatch, the Grand Prix layout, that's going to be a different challenge as well. It's going to invite maybe more overtaking. It's going to allow for maybe more mistakes, so it's going to be an extra challenge. And obviously, Mount Panorama, Andrew, climbing and obviously that mountain lap after lap for 15 minutes, not only on Mazda Miatas, but also on touring cars. It's going to be an interesting challenge.
A lot to look forward to this season, and a lot to look forward to next week. This is the final broadcast, unless you count Sunday as this week, which I kind of do, but anyways, we have a break for Friday and Saturday. Sunday night, you can rejoin us here at Pit Stop TV at 8:45 p.m. Eastern. That is 5:45 on the West Coast, or I believe 1:45 in the UK. So I would understand if we don't get any UK viewers out of that one, but we certainly hope that you will be there. It's Monza with the Scar Grid Sports Car Challenge. And JP, that's been a fun series to watch. We've got just a couple of more rounds left. In fact, 3. We've got Monza, Sonoma, and Laguna Seca. And I can say that we will be avoiding race days on the day of the... I gotta think here. So we have a race this weekend. We do not have a race the weekend after, which is the weekend of the NASCAR Clash. We will not be racing the weekend of the 13th, which we were initially. That has been moved now. That race will now take place on March 6th, and we are moving that to avoid conflict with the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 56 obviously is coming up. We don't want to lose drivers or viewers, or, I mean, myself, I want to watch it too, so, I mean, anyways. So we're not racing on February 13th. We're not racing on February 20th. That is the day of the Daytona 500. And then February 27th, we'll be back with SCAR action. That will be, I believe, from Laguna Seca, and now Sonoma should be the season finale, I believe, is the way that all breaks down. So that will also lead us right into week 13 and the build week here on iRacing. That's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get there, of course, the rest of next week, we've got the BRP iRacing series at the Big E Eldora Speedway. That's big block modifieds around 13 of 14. Then it's Snetterton with the British Sim Racers on Tuesday and Thursday. Excuse me, we've got the Norctona 500 with the next-gen cars at Daytona International Speedway on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 p.m. West Coast and midnight, dead even. That'll be Wednesday morning, technically Tuesday night. For those of you in the UK, if you'd like to tune into that one, that should be a lot of fun. Some of Sim Racing's biggest personalities on one of the biggest stages possible, Daytona International Speedway. And then Wednesday, we've also got the Ferrari GT3 Challenge that we hope to resume coverage with. That will be at Red Bull Ring. We invite you to tune into that one as well. It's all getting going here for 2022, and we've still got so much on the way. And JP, there's a lot of ways to follow along.
Absolutely. Each and every single social media provides its own way of entertainment. News, as Andrew just mentioned, the changing schedule for SCAR. You should follow us to keep updated on that one. Obviously, on Facebook at facebook.com/pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_, on instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, and obviously our main one at youtube.com/pitstoptv1, and at Twitch at twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV.
And the LA Coliseum, the LA Memorial Coliseum, just released on iRacing yesterday, and we've got some pictures of it up on our social media. You can go ahead and take a look and get a first look at what NASCAR cars look like at the LA Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. They've got the Clash coming up on February 6th, and we certainly hope you'll join us that evening. You won't be joining us for anything that evening. So by all means, we hope you will watch the LA Clash for the NASCAR Cup Series. But first, we hope you tune in. Like I said, this Sunday, we've got SCAR action at Monza. Then Monday, it's BRP at Eldora. Then Tuesday, our usual doubleheader, it seems like, with BSR, followed up by Nork. We hope you'll be there. We hope to see you. We hope to see you in the chat, etc., etc. And we cannot wait for it. For all of us here at Pit Stop TV this evening, it's been myself, Andrew Cardinale IV, and JP Costa on the call. Once again, we thank you so much for your support. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.